Chapter 378. There's a fire on the 15th floor. Come with me, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. He glanced at them unhappily and turned around with a livid face. Wu Nian looked at his cold and lonely back, and had a strange feeling in her heart. Did he come up to tell them? When did Gu Lingqing become a warm-hearted person? Wu Nian looked at Alan. Alan smiled warmly. Although the fire is going up, the 13th floor may also be affected. Moreover, it will probably be very noisy tonight. Why don't we go to another hotel? Wu Nian nodded. You haven't slept for 2 days and 1 night. You should have a good rest. I'll help you pack your luggage. It's okay. I can pack by myself. You can go down and wait for me in the lobby, Alan said gently. Wu Nian didn't want to wait for the fire to start and become a burden to others. She walked into the corridor. Gu Lingqing didn't go far. He stood at the corner and looked at her with bloodshot eyes. He pursed his lips tightly, and she could see that he was suppressing his anger. She felt that she needed to have a good talk with him when she was free. His anger seemed to be directed at her, which made her feel uncomfortable. Wu Nian walked downstairs. Gu Lingqing held her arm and walked forward. When they reached the 5th floor, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice, "I'll send you back." "No need," Wu Nian rejected. Gu Lingqing looked at her sharply. "I said I'll send you back, so I'll send you back." Wu Nian was furious. She shook off Gu Lingqing's hand. "Mr. Gu, don't you think you're too overbearing? I'm free." Gu Lingqing moved closer to her and looked down at her face that was red from anger. Sadness and pain flowed through his pitch-black eyes. The look in his eyes made Wu Nian's heart clench. "Didn't you study psychology? Then you should put yourself in my shoes and think about how you would feel if you were me now," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice, his eyes locked onto her. Wu Nian's heart was flustered. His eyes flickered as he looked at him. "What do you mean by that?" Gu Lingqing smiled bitterly. "You don't understand, or are you pretending to be stupid? You're so smart, how can you not understand?" Wu Nian had a bad feeling. His eyes became sharp and guarded. "What does Mr. Gu mean by understand? Don't talk in riddles with me. Since you said that I should understand, then please explain it clearly." Gu Lingqing looks at her cold eyes and the redness in her eyes deepens. "If I say I like you, will you stay away from me?" Wu Nian paused and looked deeply into Gu Lingqing's eyes. He has fallen in love with Wu Nian? Should she be sad or happy? She didn't make a decision. Her face felt warm and moist. Gu Lingqing has fallen in love with Wu Nian. He will also fall in love with other women. There will always be a woman who is good enough to appear by Gu Lingqing's side. She should be happy for Gu Lingqing. "I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. Mr. Gu is not my type." "If Mr. Gu can't change his mind, then I can only change my behavior and life plan," Wu Nian said coldly. Gu Lingqing smiled. His dark eyes were covered with a thin veil. "You believe what I said. You're really naive. It's good to have a simple mind, but it's wrong to be stubborn. I don't need President Gu to judge whether I'm right or not. Is it right for you to casually criticize others and interfere with others' lives? Don't talk about yourself when you have the mouth to talk about others," Wu Nian said angrily. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply, pursed his lips and didn't say anything. Wu Nian hated his deep look the most. She couldn't see through him, but he could see through others. So Wu Nian didn't talk to him anymore. She walked downstairs. Many guests gathered in the living room of the building. The hotel claims manager smiled and explained one by one. The surveillance video shows that a woman burned paper money in the corridor on the 15th floor. That's why the smoke alarm automatically went off. There was no fire. Don't worry. Wu Nian went outside and called Alan. The hotel manager explained in the hall that there was a woman burning paper money in the corridor on the 15th floor. There was no fire. "You don't need to come down." "Well, is the elevator ready? Let me come down to pick you up," Alan said softly. "No, I'm going back. I'm still worried about Lu Shuang. Thank you for your kindness." Wu Nian refused. "Okay, I'll fly back to England at 8 tomorrow morning. It's too early. Don't send me off. I'll call you when I get to England. Remember to answer the phone. Don't make me worry, hee. Alan said jokingly. "Rest early. Good night. I don't want to say goodbye to you. What should I do?" Alan didn't hang up the phone. He looked out of the window and saw Wu Nian under the Chinese parasol tree. Parting is for a better reunion. Wu Nian looked at the 14th floor and saw Alan. Alan smiled. Good night. I'll see you off. Good night. Wu Nian hung up the phone and walked to the parking lot. She got into her car and drove back. Her mind flashed through the scenes from that night. What happened in Gu Lingqing's room, and the conversation she had with Gu Lingqing on the stairs. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that Gu Lingqing's tone, attitude, and dialogue were all abnormal. It was as if he knew that she was Baiya. However, it was impossible for him to know that she was Baiya. Her appearance had changed, her name had changed, her resume had changed, and even her DNA had changed. What had gone wrong? Unknowingly, she drove back to the manor. She wanted to see Lu Shuang, but was stopped by the manor's butler. The butler explained with an ambiguous smile. Sir and Madam are already asleep. If there's nothing urgent, it's not good to disturb them at this time. Wu Nian understood. Every time Shen Yiyan came, it was as if she had never eaten her fill. Her heart was even heavier. She walked in the garden and looked up at the sky. There was a moon tonight. There was a bright star next to the moon. The moon was accompanied by stars. It felt good to have someone to accompany her all the time. She sat on the wooden chair by the lake. Her phone rang. It was Alan. She picked up the call. You're not asleep yet. I was worried about you. Have you reached home? Alan said gently. Perhaps it was because he was about to sleep. His voice was a little hoarse. I just arrived. Sorry to have made you worry. It's good that you're here. Rest early then. Wu Nian heard his kind laughter. Her eyes darkened. Rest early then. It was destined that she would not sleep well that night. In the morning, she woke up at 8:20. She brushed her teeth, washed up, and went for a jog in the garden. From afar, she saw Gu Lingqing sitting on the wooden chair by the lake. He saw her too. Instinctively, she wanted to run somewhere else. However, he had already seen her. If she did not greet him and ran somewhere else, it would make her look guilty. Chapter 379. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply and didn't say anything. Wu Nian felt that she was asking for it. She smiled awkwardly and continued to run. She ran the second lap. Gu Lingqing was still sitting on the chair, looking down and using his phone. The sunlight was just right, and when it fell on his handsome body, it was like a golden halo, bringing with it a warm feeling. Because he lowered his head, stray hair left a black silhouette on his face, which accentuated his originally resolute facial features. Wu Nian's eyes softened a little. She saw him raise his head and quickly looked away, pretending not to look at him. Gu Lingqing picked up his phone and took more than a dozen photos of her. Wu Nian didn't notice. Gu Lingqing found Baiya's photos and compared them. His forehead was the same, bright and full. The head shape was the same. Baiya's head was goose egg shaped, not flat. The old people said that the head shape was shaped by the pillow when she was a baby. When she slept with her face facing the sky, the back of her head was flat. When she slept with her face sideways, it would become a full goose egg shaped head. This kind of head looked very good when tied into a ponytail. Gu Lingqing's lips curved up slightly. Baiya adjusted her eyes, lips, face shape, ears and nose without moving. It was fate. Baiya had a small round ear above her earlobe, which couldn't be seen without looking carefully. He estimated that Baiya didn't notice it herself, so he didn't do the ear surgery. Wu Nian ran one lap after another. Seeing that Gu Lingqing had been sitting on the chair, he didn't talk to her or look at her. He was still looking at his phone. When she ran the 10th lap, Gu Lingqing was no longer sitting on the chair. Wu Nian subconsciously looked for his figure. She glanced around but didn't see Gu Lingqing. She thought about her own behavior and found it funny. She and Gu Lingqing were nothing now. Didn't she resist meeting Gu Lingqing by chance? What was he doing now? Wu Nian continued to run. After another 10 laps, Lu Shuang came to look for her with a serious look on his face. She was also tired from running, so she walked over to Lu Shuang and worriedly asked, "Are you all right?" "It's still the same. If you don't erupt in silence, you will die in silence. You always have to wait for the best opportunity. I just saw Gu Lingqing and Shen Yiyan together. What can they say when they are together? Although Gu Lingqing left the military area to engage in business, in fact, the Gu family's influence is not only in the military, but also in the political power. It is not strange that Shen Yin is looking for him. In addition, Alan promised to help. As long as you travel to the UK, she can make you disappear without any trace, Wu Nian said. He comforted Lu Shuang. Shen Yin is not a simple person. If I disappear in the UK, he will soon suspect Alan and you. He won't let you go. Lu Shuang was worried. Wu Nian smiled. Even if he doesn't let me go, it won't change anything. As long as he doesn't admit it, there will never be any evidence. Besides, with Alan's identity, Shen Yin won't offend him rashly. I hope he finds another woman as soon as possible and stops provoking me. Then I can come back to look for you. Lu Shuang lowered his eyes and said, Let's not talk about this. There are too many variables in the future. Tomorrow is Mo Shui's daughter's birthday. Have you bought the gift? Lu Shuang pursed his lips. Shen Yin said that Mo Shui's daughter likes men the most. Moreover, she already has a man she likes. It's better to give her the one she likes than the expensive gift. Well, we can take an unusual path. It's good to try. Do you know who the man she likes is? Wu Nian asked. Lu Shuang sighed and said with gloomy eyes, Gu Lingqing. Ha! Wu Nian laughed. He is really a toad with two legs. Lu Shuang was amused by Wu Nian and his depression was gone. Gu Lingqing must know that you described him as a toad. You'll probably die 1,000 times over with just a single glare. So you must say bad things behind his back and to someone you trust, in case he finds out. Wu Nian laughed. Gu Lingqing may have dinner here today. I don't want to face her. Let's go out to eat. By the way, can you help me think of a gift? I don't dare to give Gu Lingqing a gift. Lu Shuang put his arm around Wu Nian's shoulder. Okay, wait for me. I'll take a shower. Wu Nian wiped the sweat on his face. By the way, how is your wound now? Wu Nian asked worriedly. It's just a small wound on my arm. When I went to change the dressing yesterday, I saw that it was recovering well. It didn't affect my running. I'll go out and change the dressing again to see how the wound is healing. I think it should be healed soon, Wu Nian said lightly. You are so brave. I'll wait for you at the door. I'm afraid that Shen Yin will be annoying, Lu Shuang said and went straight to the door. Her phone rang. She saw that it was Shen Yin's call. She frowned and said impolitely, Shen Yin, am I your mother? You haven't been weaned yet, right? I just left for 10 minutes. Do you have any milk? Shen Yin said coldly. I don't have any. Go find someone with milk. Lu Shuang hung up the phone directly. Shen Yin called again and said angrily, If you dare to hang up on me again, you won't be able to walk out of the room anymore. I mean what I say. She knew that he meant what he said, but what right did he have to do that? Lu Shuang was so angry that he was about to explode. You, President Shen, are so powerful. Don't say that you won't let me step out of the room. You can kill me like stepping on an ant. Do I dare to hang up? Go ahead and say it. Lu Shuang threw his phone into his bag and walked towards the door no matter what he said. After Shen Yin said that, she heard that there was no sound from Lu Shuang's side. She gritted her teeth and said to the housekeeper, Find Madam's current location in 1 minute. Oh, I'll go and check the surveillance now. The butler immediately replied. Right now, the president did not show any signs of anger on his face. The only person who could anger him to this extent was the madam. Lu Shuang had just walked to the door when Shen Yin arrived before him. She was still holding her phone in her hand and looked at him unhappily. Lu Shuang, have I been too lenient with you? You lose your temper as soon as you answer the phone. I told you not to hang up, but now you don't even answer the phone. Do you have nothing better to do? Lu Shuang turned his face away, thought for a moment, took out his phone and hung up. Shen Yin, you are really asking for a beating. You don't have to go out today. He rushed towards Lu Shuang angrily. Lu Shuang was so angry that he didn't know what to say. He threw his bag on Shen Yin and squatted down. Shen Yin was about to get angry when he saw her lowering her head. Her shoulders were trembling, and her tears were dripping onto the cement floor, making small spots of water wet. Chapter 380. Lu Shuang thought about it. Crying in front of him would be a coward. She wiped her tears and stood up. What's the matter? Hurry up and tell me. I'm going out after you're done. Shen Yiyan frowned when she saw her fierce look. You're not crying anymore? Am I crying? I'm draining water. Do you understand? Lu Shuang denied. Draining water? Heh. Shen Yiyan sneered. I think you should be mentally retarded. Lu Shuang did not want to talk to him anymore. She rolled her eyes at him and walked away. Shen Yiyan had no choice but to grab her arm. Lu Shuang, you're a punching bag, right? You get angry when you talk to me. Can you be obedient? That depends on whether you're speaking the human language. If you don't like it, of course I'll get angry. I'm not a plant. All plants have emotions. Lu Shuang tried to pry her fingers apart. Gu Lingqing asked me today if Wu Nian is Baiya. What do you think I should say? Shen Yiyan said in a low voice. Lu Shuang panicked. When she told Gu Lingqing that Wu Nian was Baiya, Gu Lingqing did not believe her, and even tried to suppress her. Now that Wu Nian and Alan were together, she did not want Gu Lingqing and Baiya to be together. If Gu Lingqing knew that Wu Nian was Baiya, Gu Lingqing would definitely pester her. What did you say? Lu Shuang asked worriedly. Shen Yiyan let go of her hand and asked. What do you want me to say? Of course not. If Wu Nian wanted to be with Gu Lingqing, she would have told Gu Lingqing herself. She didn't tell Gu Lingqing because she didn't want Gu Lingqing to know. Lu Shuang said directly. Shen Yiyan looked at her with a secretive look. She curled her lips and her eyes were sparkling. Lu Shuang had a bad feeling. You didn't tell me, did you? You think I'm you? Gu Lingqing said you said it. Wu Nian is Baiya. Shen Yiyan said with a smile. Lu Shuang was speechless. Embarrassed, she blushed slightly and turned her face away. Her eyes flickered as she said softly, There are a few days a month when my head is squeezed and I say the wrong thing in a moment of impulse. Are you saying yes or no? I denied it, Shen Yiyan replied. Lu Shuang was relieved and smiled. You're really good at lying. The skills you learned since you were young are really useful when you grow up. Shen Yiyan was speechless. He curled his lips. You're right. I suddenly want to turn over a new leaf. I shouldn't lie. After all, Gu Lingqing is very useful to me. Lu Shuang held his hand. How can you be like this? If you call me nice, I might not be like this. Anyway, I want Gu Lingqing to know that Wu Nian is Baiya and he owes me a favor. I don't think it's a loss, Shen Yiyan said slowly. Are you serious? Lu Shuang was really afraid that he would say it. What about the nice one? Shen Yiyan leaned forward and put his ear close to Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang looked at his approaching figure with disdain. Handsome guy is not nice. What do you think? It's just a fact. It's not nice. Shen Yiyan frowned and said. Lu Shuang smiled and took the initiative to hold the back of Shen Yiyan's neck. I understand. The fact is not nice. Then I love you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You're the man I love the most. This is nice, right? Don't worry. I promise that it's 100% fake. Shen Yiyan frowned even more. He carried her up and said, I know you don't want to go out today. No, Shen Yiyan, put me down. I really have something to do. Tomorrow is Mo Shui's daughter's birthday. Xiao Nian and I are going out to buy a birthday present. Lu Shuang twisted his waist. Gu Lingqing has already given Stephen to me. Without his competition, I have nothing to fear. Shen Yiyan walked inside. Without Gu Lingqing, there's still Su Jiran. You're ruining things. I don't care. I want to take the baby out for a trip. Shen Yiyan looked down at her angry face and thought of the days when he was young and frivolous. He had been soaked in the vat of politics for a long time. He was surrounded by deceit and intrigue. He had also become different from his original self. He was good at using money and power, and he was cautious at every step. If he was not careful, he would walk into other people's political traps. He had caused countless people to die. For the sake of the big picture, he had sacrificed marriage, freedom, and happiness. Only Lu Shuang could let him see his old self, who was more free and happy. Therefore, he liked her when she was angry, when she was crying, or when she was willful. She was the only one who treated him as Shen Yiyan, not the president. Then give me a kiss, and I'll let you go out, Shinian said softly. You're so annoying. Lu Shuang kissed him on the face reluctantly. Shinian put her down, patted her head, and said meaningfully, don't run around. Lu Shuang licked his tongue, turned around, and ran to the door. Shinian looked at Lu Shuang's back. It was impossible for him to let her go. If she left, he would be lost in the ocean of politics forever. He would only be left to live alone. As soon as Lu Shuang arrived at the door, he saw Wu Nian coming over. She saw Wu Nian and felt a little guilty, because she told Gu Lingqing that she was Baiya without her permission. Lu Shuang really hated himself for not using his brain. What was he thinking at that time? Xiaonian, I'm sorry. Lu Shuang apologized. What's wrong? Why are you apologizing all of a sudden? Wu Nian was puzzled. I always make mistakes and ask you to clean up the mess for me. It was like that in the past, and it's still like that now. Lu Shuang lowered his head. Wu Nian smiled and comforted him. No matter what you do, I will forgive you, because I know you are doing it for my sake. You just don't know how to do it for my sake. Or you have an arrogant thought, and the result is the opposite of what you want. Lu Shuang scratched his head. That seems to be the case. I must be careful in my words and actions in the future. Wu Nian smiled. I'll wait for the day when you are careful in your words and actions. Sigh. Lu Shuang sighed. Sometimes wishes were beautiful, but the reality was harsh. I'll take you to the hospital to change the gauze first. The wound on Wu Nian's arm did not recover as well as he had imagined. Although the wound had scabbed, the surrounding area was still red and swollen. You shouldn't run. You need to rest more. Lu Shuang felt sorry for him. Wu Nian smiled nonchalantly. Life is about exercise. This recovery is considered good. There is no infection, no pus, and no fever. Don't you feel pain? Lu Shuang bandaged Wu Nian's wound. Wu Nian shook her head. My body has the ability to adapt. This kind of pain is nothing to me. If I don't think about it, I will ignore it. Chapter 381. As long as you never admit it, even if he suspects, he won't be sure. But, what if you don't admit it, and he has already made up his mind? Lu Shuang asked worriedly. Wu Nian's eyes flashed with suspicion. She asked, did Gu Lingqing come to see Shinian today to confirm if I'm Baiya? Gu Lingqing asked, but Shinian said no. Lu Shuang explained. Wu Nian lowered her eyes. She knew that Gu Lingqing's attitude yesterday, his tone, and the way he spoke were not normal. Now that she thought about it, he must have thought that she was Baiya. He was still suspicious of her, so his attitude towards her was also ambiguous. Lu Shuang looked at Wu Nian's silence. She was impatient and said irritably, so what if he knows? If you don't like him, then you don't like him. Anyway, you guys are divorced. What are you afraid of? Just let him know that he bullied you before. Wu Nian did not say anything. She was deep in her own thoughts. Time passed by. 1.5 hours later, Wu Nian was done with the drip. Let's go and buy a gift. What should we buy? Jewelry? Her family sells jewelry. As for clothes, we don't even know her size. I guess since her family is so rich, it should be custom-made. Lipstick or something else is too shabby. People like her should not lack anything other than the man they like. Lu Shuang sighed. Let's buy an LV bag. The latest model. Women always lack one bag. Wu Nian suggested. Buy an LV bag, the latest model. A woman's bag is always short of one. Wu Nian suggested. It can cure all diseases. Haha. Lu Shuang held Wu Nian's hand and walked to the most high-end shopping building in X City. It can cure all diseases, ha ha ha. Lu Shuang held Wu Nian's arm and walked to the most high-end shopping building in X City. They saw Su Jiran buying perfume when they walked to the elevator on the first floor. Lu Shuang dragged Wu Nian away. Su Jiran glanced at Wu Nian from the corner of his eyes. Xiao Nian, it's great that I bumped into you here. I wanted to buy you a bottle of perfume to thank you for saving my life that day. Come over and take a look. Which one do you like? My Xiao Nian never uses perfume. Thank you. Besides, Xiao Nian didn't save you. She saved her boyfriend. She saved you along the way, Lu Shuang said bluntly and then got into the elevator with Wu Nian. Wu Nian didn't even look at Su Jiran. He was looking ahead. The corners of Su Jiran's mouth curled up. He put his hands in his pockets and followed them. When Lu Shuang saw that Su Jiran was following them, she blocked his path. I say, you're a shameless person. Why are you following us? It was the same when Xiaobai didn't like you. You kept pestering her, and the more you pestered her, the more disgusting you are. A cold light flashed in Su Jiran's eyes. You should be glad that you are Shen Yan's woman. Otherwise, with your personality, you would have died 17 or 18 times. Are you saying that you would have killed me 17 or 18 times? Su Jiran, you are a devil who kills without batting an eye. Lu Shuang said coldly. If I was a devil who kills without batting an eye, you wouldn't be alive now. You even killed the woman you like. I should thank you for being merciful. Lu Shuang rolled his eyes at him and pulled Wu Nian away. As long as Baiya doesn't leave me, I won't let her die, Su Jiran said as he looked at Wu Nian's back. Lu Shuang didn't look back and walked even faster. This Su Jiran is so annoying. It was a wise decision for you to divorce him. I saw him changing girlfriends more than 10 times in the past year. Stud horse trash. Don't argue with him in the future. He is a sinister person. If you ignore him, he will feel that you are asking for trouble. Wu Nian reminded him. I have a bad temper. I can't help it. They walked into the LV store. Boss, are there any new goods this month? Lu Shuang asked. Yes, but it is limited. Someone ordered it last month. The shop assistant said apologetically. Why don't you look at the others? Some of them are also popular. Is there only one limited edition? Lu Shuang said disappointedly. Each store can only get one. I'm sorry. Why don't you look at other stores? Lu Shuang looked at Wu Nian. Even if there are some in other countries, tomorrow is the birthday party. I don't know if I can make it in time. Do you have the customer's contact information? Wu Nian asked the shop assistant. Well, when the shop assistant saw Su Jiran coming over, she smiled and said, Mr. Su, are you coming to pick up the bag? Su Jiran nodded. The shop assistant handed the limited edition bag to Su Jiran respectfully. Su Jiran took the bag and looked at Wu Nian. He handed the bag over. You want it too, right? It's for you. Lu Shuang slapped Su Jiran's hand away. Who wants your stuff? Get lost. Su Jiran frowned and glanced at Lu Shuang unhappily. Seeing the sharpness in Su Jiran's eyes, Wu Nian's heart sank. She was all too familiar with the look in his eyes. Su Jiran was capable of anything. Most importantly, he had too many tricks up his sleeves. Once he did it, he could even lure people into his trap unknowingly. They wouldn't even know how they died. Cool girl. Wu Nian stopped him. Lu Shuang looked at Wu Nian. Wu Nian took the bag from Su Jiran and said politely but indifferently, Thank you, Mr. Su. I need this bag. You need to give it to Avril? Su Jiran asked. Wu Nian twitched the corner of her mouth. So, you're not going to compete? Su Jiran shrugged. A bag can't change the result. However, I'm confident that I can cooperate with Mo Shui. Do you believe me? Wu Nian looked at him. He was very sure. If Mr. Su can take away the cooperation rights, I'm willing to admit defeat. However, if you promise to be my woman for a month, I'm willing to give this opportunity to cooperate with you and make it a success, Su Jiran said evilly. Su Jiran, do you have any shame? How can you make such a request? Even if you don't let us, we can still get the cooperation rights, Lu Shuang said angrily. Don't worry. I promise you won't get the cooperation rights, Su Jiran said arrogantly and looked at Wu Nian's face. My business card is in the bag. You have 24 hours to think about it. I'll think about it, Wu Nian said lightly. Think about what? You don't even want the bag. Lu Shuang grabbed the bag from Wu Nian's hand and threw it on the ground. Su Jiran turned and left. Wu Nian picked up the bag on the ground. Xiaonian, are you crazy? You want to give yourself to that devil, Su Jiran. Lu Shuang didn't understand. Wu Nian glanced at Lu Shuang. If it was Baiya, how do you think Baiya would answer him? Of course he would tell him to get lost, Lu Shuang said without thinking. Wu Nian raised the corner of his mouth. That's right. Lu Shuang suddenly understood. You're just trying to show that you're different from Baiya. In fact, you'll definitely reject him, right? Chapter 382. I don't care what he is up to. I'd rather not work with him than have you get involved with him. Even if I don't work with him, it doesn't mean that I won't have the chance to take Xiao Bao on a vacation. Lu Shuang said with certainty. Let's take it one step at a time. They went back after dinner. Wu Nian went back to his room to sleep. Lu Shuang was also ready to go back to his room to sleep. Shen Yin did a lot last night and he was sleepy. As soon as she went back to her room, the butler stopped her. Madam, sir wants to invite you to the lake. What? Shen Yin hasn't left yet. Isn't he going back to country, eh? Lu Shuang said straightforwardly. The butler smiled. Master has his own arrangements. We can't interfere. Lu Shuang shrugged. He wanted to talk to Su Jieran, so he could talk to Shen Yin. She went to the lake to look for Shen Yin, and saw that Gu Lingqing was there too. Did Gu Lingqing not leave, or did he come back? They were in a good mood, fishing by the lake leisurely. How could she be bullied in Su Jieran? She was instantly infuriated. Shen Yin, a country that isn't in the morning is usually destroyed quickly. You've been here for 2 days. Don't you need to go to work? Lu Shuang said impolitely. Shen Yin was not angry. Instead he smiled. You said that I need to go to work. I definitely have my annual leave. Your annual leave is long enough. You've rested for 20 days this year, right? Lu Shuang walked in front of him. Weekends are my normal days off. Business trips are also required by my work. I've only rested for 3 days. Shen Yin replied seriously. Lu Shuang saw that there were more than 10 fish in his bucket. He said with disdain. If you have the time to fish, why don't you think about how to work with Mo Shui? I'll fish with my competitor, and leave you to think of a solution. This is also my strategy. Shen Yin smiled. Lu Shuang kicked the chair that Shen Yin was sitting on. You don't have only one competitor. Xiao Nian and I met Su Jieran in the mall today. He's very confident that he can to Mo Shui, and he even asked Xiao Nian to be his woman. Gu Lingqing frowned and pressed his lips together. Oh, Su Jieran is very confident. Shen Yin mulled over this sentence and looked at Gu Lingqing. What do you think? There won't be any accidents. Shen Yin to Su to. Lu Shuang felt as if they had become partners. He was scared. Hey Gu Lingqing, why are you helping Shen Yin? Gu Lingqing squinted at Lu Shuang. His eyes were as dark as ink. There are some things that the less you know, the better. Lu Shuang felt that Gu Lingqing was looking down on him. He suddenly felt embarrassed. There was an unknown fire in his heart, but he didn't know what to say to vent it. Shen Yin, why did you ask me to come here? Lu Shuang said unhappily. Fishing. Do you want it? Shen Yin handed the fishing rod to Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang pulled Shen Yin to stand up. Don't fish. I have something to tell you. Shen Yin stood up in a good mood, and was dragged 100 meters away by Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang glanced at Gu Lingqing. He guessed that Gu Lingqing couldn't hear them, so he asked, why is he still here? We haven't finished talking about some military matters. Lu Shuang pointed at Shen Yin. Don't lie to me. Do you think I'm stupid? You're not talking about military matters. You're obviously fishing. You didn't tell Gu Lingqing that Wu Nian is by yet, did you? Shen Yin smiled and held Lu Shuang's fingers. We're done talking. I asked him to stay here to fish. Lu Shuang pulled his hand out. Why did you ask him to stay? Shen Yin touched his nose. To help you complete your mission. Haven't you always wanted to travel? Lu Shuang looked at Shen Yin's face. Shen Yin was a smart person. Gu Lingqing was a smart person. Su Jieran was a smart person. Baiya was a smart person. She felt that she was very stupid. Those people talked and did things in one way or another. They seemed to be doing A, but suddenly they became B and finally they turned out to be C. Anyway, you can't bully Wu Nian. Lu Shuang requested. Shen Yin smiled and held her waist. You go back with me tomorrow morning. What? Tomorrow morning? It's Mo Shui's daughter's birthday tomorrow night. Stephen will appear to introduce her to me. It's not appropriate for me to go back tomorrow morning. Lu Shuang was confused. Is he introducing her to you, or to Wu Nian? Shen Yan asked. Lu Shuang was a little embarrassed. He cleared his throat and said uncomfortably, introducing her to Xiao Nian means introducing her to me. Wu Nian can attend the party tomorrow. You will only make trouble if you go. Lu Shuang pushed Shen Yan's hand away from her waist and sneered. Hey Shen Yan, in your eyes, I don't know anything, do I? Well, Shen Yan thought carefully. In fact, it's enough for you to know one thing. What? Lu Shuang couldn't understand what he meant. Give birth to my child. Huh? Lu Shuang smiled and looked at him coldly. Any woman can give birth, but only you can be the mother of my son. Shen Yan said with certainty. What? Lu Shuang stared at Shen Yan. Why did she feel that he was very strange today? Only she could be the mother of his son. Couldn't his wife give birth to his son? All right, go back with me. I'm worried about you in country X. Be good. Shen Yan said with a smile and looked at him with burning eyes. Lu Shuang shivered. What if I don't want to go back? I want to go out and play after we talk. Shen Yan's face darkened, and there was coldness in his eyes. Lu Shuang, do you know why you can always stay by my side? He said that as if it was his gift to her to stay by his side. Thank you, but I don't care. Lu Shuang said bluntly. Shen Yan pursed his lips, and his eyes became colder. He said in a harsh tone. Go back with me tomorrow. It's not up to you. Lu Shuang turned around and left. He picked her up forcibly and walked to the room. 2 hours later, Wu Nian woke up and went to find Lu Shuang. She was stopped by the butler again. The butler smiled ambiguously again. Sir and Madam are busy inside. Wu Nian. She turned around and Gu Lingqing walked in. When Wu Nian saw him, she lowered her head and greeted him respectfully. Mr. Gu. Gu Lingqing held Wu Nian's arm and looked at the butler. He said in a low voice, they have been busy for almost 2 hours. They should be done by now. Let them know. Hermes. The butler nodded and walked to the door of Lu Shuang's room. Wu Nian. She remembered this butler. He was treating her differently. She stood beside Gu Lingqing uncomfortably. You've lost a lot of weight recently. Gu Lingqing said as he looked down at her face. I was too fat before, so I was trying to lose weight on purpose. Wu Nian replied. Chapter 383. Wu Nian liked to get along with Gu Lingqing like this. It was relaxed, free, and there were no conflicts. It was as if life was beautiful, plain and warm. She could feel a sweet feeling flowing in her heart just by talking to him occasionally and listening to his voice. I know how to make it. Crucian carp soup with tofu. The wild crucian carp caught in this kind of lake are the most delicious. Wu Nian replied with a smile. Gu Lingqing looked at her and also smiled. It was difficult for him to smile, and his smile was extraordinarily beautiful. In addition to the crucian carp, I also caught a spotted silver carp and a black carp. Can you see what you can do? Gu Lingqing asked. Shen Yan walked out of the room, well dressed, and said with a smile, it seems that I have to admit that Chief Gu is very good at fishing. I only caught a dozen small crucian carps. I'm ashamed. You deserve it, idiot. Lu Shuang came out of the room, and his face was red, not knowing whether it was because of anger or shyness. She walked in front of Wu Nian and took Wu Nian's arm. Xiao Nian, you cook tonight, and I'll be your assistant. Shen Yan pursed her lips and smiled. Lu Shuang glared at her. What are you smiling for? Are you white? She took Wu Nian to the kitchen, closed the door, and said, Xiao Nian, let me tell you. You weren't here just now, and I told them about Su Jiran. Gu Lingqing said there would be no accidents. I guess Gu Lingqing has a way, but I can't think of what it is. Gu Lingqing is reliable. Let's wait and see. In many things, plans can't keep up with changes. Dong dong dong. There was a knock on the door. Wu Nian opened the door. The housekeeper was standing at the door with 2 buckets of fish, smiling. Wu Nian took it. When Lu Shuang closed the door, he glanced at the bucket and said with disgust, there is no harm if there is no comparison. Shen Yan is really lousy. He caught so many fish, not even as good as Gu Lingqing's. Every profession has its own specialization. Besides, there's an element of luck in fishing. Wu Nian began to wash the fish. Lu Shuang glanced at the door and made sure that it would not be opened. He lowered his voice and said to Wu Nian, Shen Yan asked me to go back with him tomorrow. You help me negotiate. My condition is that if the cooperation is not successful, I have to take Xiao Bao to travel for a week next month. He agreed. That's good. Even if we don't cooperate, you can still travel. Wu Nian was also happy for Lu Shuang. That's right, that's right. When we go on a trip, we'll look to Alan. By the way, why didn't Alan contact you today? He has to fly at 8 o'clock this morning. Normally, he should have arrived in the UK at this time. Wu Nian took out his phone and found that there was no call from Alan. Lu Shuang grabbed Wu Nian's phone. If he doesn't call me, you should call him. You are too passive. While saying that, Lu Shuang dialed the number. It was too late for Wu Nian to stop him. The phone was connected. Lu Shuang put the phone to Wu Nian's ear. Hello. Wu Nian said. I feel much better after receiving your call. What are you doing now? Alan said softly. I'm cooking dinner. You must be tired after the trip. Have a good rest. Wu Nian was about to hang up. I'm hungry after hearing you cooking dinner. I want to taste your cooking skills. There will be a chance. After saying that, Wu Nian didn't know what else to say. He fell silent. Alan was very talkative. Then it's a deal. Once I go to country, you have to cook dinner for me. Don't go back on your word. Okay. Wu Nian fell silent again. He was most afraid of the air suddenly becoming clean. Wu Nian felt very embarrassed. He didn't know whether to hang up or not. Alan also paused for 5 seconds and said, Xiao Nian, I have a little problem here. But don't worry. I will definitely solve it. So, I will have to trouble you for a while. Wu Nian understood that the marriage was not a trivial matter. It could change the fate of 2 families. It doesn't matter. Even if you change your mind, it doesn't matter to me. Don't put too much burden and pressure on yourself. When you feel conflicted and can't find an exit, write down all the expected situations. Good things, bad things. Add 1 point for every good thing, and 1 point for every bad thing. Subtract 1 point, and you will get the answer rationally. Wu Nian suggested. Alan smiled. In fact, it doesn't matter to me how many points I lose. Because I want to be with you and fight for this goal. Life is steady for me. I'm just worried that you won't give me a chance if you wait for too long. Wu Nian lowered his eyes. His long eyelashes covered the light in his eyes. He was silent and didn't reply to Alan. Alan chuckled. God is really fair to people. I always felt that my body wasn't too good, but I was able to control my feelings with ease. Now I'm getting my comeuppance. It's okay. You can hang up. Wu Nian felt a sour feeling in his heart. Can we start from friends? Alan smiled. I am willing to be your knight. Then, I'm going to cook dinner. I'll contact you later. Okay. Wu Nian looked at Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang cooperated and hung up the phone. He said with a smile, I think this Alan is quite good. He's a gentleman and I feel that he's infatuated. It's good to be friends. I'm just afraid that I won't be able to repay him if he suddenly becomes serious. However, it should just be a novelty. He doesn't look like an irrational person, Wu Nian judged. Lu Shuang wanted to say something but stopped. In the end, he didn't say anything to persuade her. She knew that Wu Nian had his own thoughts and wouldn't listen to her. Wu Nian made tofu fish soup, pickled fish with pickled vegetables, fish head with chopped peppers, fish sliders with green peppers, braised carp, and steamed green jade meat. Gu Lingqing stayed for dinner. They chatted casually and skipped sensitive topics. Lu Shuang and Shen Yan were going back to China the next morning. So they left after dinner. Wu Nian sent Gu Lingqing out. Do you need me to pick you up for the banquet tomorrow? Gu Lingqing asked. No need. I'll drive myself. Wu Nian refused. Okay. Be careful on the way. Gu Lingqing said. Okay. Be careful on the way. Wu Nian nodded respectfully. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. After this incident, they would go back to China. She would live in his house for a long time. He was looking forward to their return and wanted to be by her side all the time. However, they had to separate now. Did Xiaoyan call you? Gu Lingqing asked. Wu Nian shook her head. Speaking of Xiaoyan, she began to miss him. Children are like this. Their enthusiasm lasts only for a short time. If you are not by their side, they will easily forget you. It will be better if you get to know them better in the future. Maybe after 2 or 3 years, they will remember you. Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. Okay. Don't worry, Mr. Gu. I will take good care of your children. Since I want to use you, I won't doubt your ability anymore. See you tomorrow, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. His eyes never left her. He wanted to see her from time to time. Then see you tomorrow, Wu Nian replied. Chapter 384. Lu Shuang left for the airport at 8 o'clock. Shen Yian's private plane was parked there. Wu Nian went to see him off. Lu Shuang said reluctantly, "It's fine if it doesn't work out. Shen Yian has promised to give me a week to travel. Although it's not much time, it's enough for me to escape. Don't force yourself and come back early." Wu Nian smiled. "I understand. Be careful. I don't think Shen Yian's men have the guts to kill you. Maybe there's someone else behind it." Lu Shuang shrugged. "I'm leaving soon anyway. Those people started it because of Shen Yian. I'll be safe once I leave Shen Yian." "Okay, have a safe trip," Wu Nian said softly. Lu Shuang turned around, walked a few steps and looked back at Wu Nian. Wu Nian was smarter than her, more thorough and more rational than her. It was useless for her to worry. However, she didn't know why she felt so uneasy. Wu Nian waved and Lu Shuang got on the plane. She watched Lu Shuang's plane fly away, then turned around and went back to the airport. In the afternoon, she went to the beauty salon. Avril's birthday party was full of celebrities and socialites. She was going there to discuss a business deal, so it wasn't appropriate for her to dress shabbily. After a whole morning, she combed her hair, put on exquisite makeup, changed into an orange princess dress, revealed her fair neck, and put on the diamond necklace that was sold in the afternoon. She went to the party at 6 o'clock. She thought she would be early, but she didn't expect that another 40 or 50 people would arrive. She looked for Gu Lingqing and Stephen subconsciously. Gu Lingqing didn't see them, neither did Stephen, nor did Mo Shui. She walked up and gave the LV bag to Avril first. "Happy birthday." Avril was very arrogant and disinterested. She handed her bag to the maid next to her, and said to Wu Nian lazily, "Suit yourself." Wu Nian nodded, took a glass of red wine, and stood in the corner. Many men came over to hit on her, but she rejected them all. There were more and more people in the banquet hall. Wu Nian still hadn't seen Gu Lingqing and Stephen, so he went outside to wait. From the private room next door, an elegant woman walked out and answered the phone with a smile. "Jieran, where are you?" "All right, I'll go now." Arrogant? Was he referring to Su Jieran? Wu Nian recalled how confident Su Jieran was when he followed the lady out. She watched as the lady went to the parking lot and got into a black Maybach. Wu Nian was suspicious. He arched his body and quietly approached. "And Jieran, be gentler." Wu Nian blushed and looked up at the Maybach. The Maybach vibrated. She arched his body and walked back, only to see a pair of bright leather shoes. She blushed and looked up, only to see Gu Lingqing. "What are you doing here?" Gu Lingqing asked suspiciously. "That." Wu Nian found it hard to say. "See for yourself." "See what?" Gu Lingqing didn't understand. Wu Nian pushed her away and walked into the hotel. Gu Lingqing looked at the parking lot and saw a car vibrating violently. He understood and his Adam's apple bobbed sexily. He turned around and walked into the hotel. Wu Nian was still waiting for the elevator. Seeing Gu Lingqing walk over, she thought of the Maybach and felt very uncomfortable. "Is it nice?" Gu Lingqing looked down at her and asked. "I saw a woman answering a phone from the private room next to the banquet hall. She said something about Jieran. I thought it was Su Jieran and wanted to see what they were up to. I didn't expect." Wu Nian explained. "That Maybach is Su Jieran's. The woman you are talking about should be Mo Shui," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. "Wu Nian." She knew that Su Jieran was good at playing with his girlfriends, but he only played with young and beautiful girls. It wasn't that Emo Shui wasn't beautiful, but she should be over 50 years old. Su Jieran's taste and methods were unbelievable. Then there's no hope for us to work together, right? Wu Nian judged. Gu Lingqing smiled. I said there won't be any accidents. Don't you believe me? He was talking to Shen Yan and Lu Shuang. How could he be so sure that she knew? The elevator opened with a ding. Gu Lingqing asked Wu Nian to go in first. When Stephen comes later, pretend that you don't know about the relationship between Emo Shui and Su Jieran. Communicate as usual. I will help you. Okay, Wu Nian answered. She trusted Gu Lingqing for no reason. He could do what he said. They entered the banquet hall together. When Avril saw Gu Lingqing, she ran over with a smile as if she was on steroids. She reached out to Gu Lingqing. Where's the present? It's my birthday today. I've been waiting for your present for a long time. Gu Lingqing took out a small jewelry box from his pocket and placed it in Avril's hand. Avril opened it excitedly. It was a beautiful hair clip with her English name as the base. It was made of platinum and inlaid with diamonds. It's so beautiful. This is the best present I've received today. Thank you, Qing. Can you put it on for me? Avril handed the hair clip to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing took it and put it on for her. Avril smiled like a blooming flower. She quickly kissed Gu Lingqing on the cheek. Wu Nian twitched the corner of her mouth and turned around. There was a strange feeling in her heart. Her eyes were wet. She walked out of the banquet hall again. She stood at the entrance of the corridor and leaned against the wall. She lowered her head and looked at the ground in silence. In this world, two things that were difficult to do were to let go and to fulfill someone's wish. She had already decided to let go and fulfill someone's wish, but when she saw him being intimate with another girl, she still couldn't stay calm. Humans were really contradictory and strange creatures. She calmed herself down for 10 minutes. She convinced herself and adjusted her mood. She went back to the banquet hall and saw Stephen. Stephen was talking to Gu Lingqing. He seemed to be in a good mood. Wu Nian walked up to him and said with a smile, "Good evening, Stephen." Stephen looked at Wu Nian and praised her with admiration. "Wow, I haven't seen you for a few days. You've lost a lot of weight. You've become even more beautiful." "Thank you," Wu Nian said politely. "I haven't seen Emo Shui yet. I'll introduce her to you when I see her later," Stephen said with a smile. He looked at Gu Lingqing and his eyes lit up. They waited for another 20 minutes. Wu Nian saw the lady who had a tryst with Su Jieran walk in. She had put her hair up when she went out. Now it was down. "She's here," Stephen said and walked toward Emo Shui. "Long time no see, Shui, Stephen said with a smile. Emo Shui chuckled. "It's been a long time. I thought you were dead." "You're not dead. How would I dare die? I'll definitely wait for you to die before I die," Stephen said with a smile. Wu Nian was speechless. Chapter 385. You're thinking too much. Look, I still have black hair, and you already have white hair. It's impossible for you to live longer than me, Emo Shui said bluntly. Alright, you've lived for a long time. That's good enough. I'm here to talk to you about something. Stephen got back to business. What is it? You don't look like anything good. Emo Shui rolled her eyes at Stephen. Didn't you say that when you're old, I'll give you another painting called Dream Realization? I'll paint it for you while I'm still alive, Stephen said. Emo Shui was tempted and the sharpness in her eyes faded a little. I'm not free today. It's Avril's birthday. How about tomorrow? I'll be free tomorrow. Before I paint, I have a friend I want to introduce to you, Stephen said. Emo Shui looked at Wu Nian who was standing beside Stephen. Your lover? Don't talk nonsense. She's Alan's girlfriend at the moment. She's from A and wants to be your business partner in a country, Stephen said directly. Emo Shui lowered her eyes and crossed her arms. I already have a business partner in a country. Sorry. Think about it again, please. Stephen's tone softened. Emo Shui frowned. What kind of relationship do you have with her? Does she need you, who treats money like dirt, to beg for her? Ollie and Lisa killed Kyle, and she helped me find Casey, who killed Ollie and Lisa. At the critical moment, she even saved my life. Shue, can you help me? Steven said softly. Wouldn't she be my enemy if she saved you? Mo Shue said sarcastically. If that's what you think, then it's my fault for coming here. I'm leaving now. We'll never meet again in this life. Steven walked towards the door. Mo Shue's eyes flashed with a complicated look. Wait. Steven glanced at her. I'll think about it. Mo Shue said in a low voice. Steven smiled. Today is your daughter's birthday, and you have a lover here. I won't bother you anymore. Call me tomorrow when you're free. Mo Shue's eyes darkened as she watched Steven walk away. Wu Nian couldn't understand Mo Shue. She could see the reluctance in Mo Shue's eyes, but she had already slept with Su Jiran. Perhaps sex and love could be managed separately for her. An American classmate of hers had once done a similar research. A man told his girlfriend that he had 5 girlfriends, and that it depended on their attitude. The responses of China, the US, and Japan were very different. The American girlfriend was not angry and even joked with her boyfriend, not caring at all. The Chinese girlfriend was very angry, questioning, feeling wronged, suspicious, crying, upset, and hysterical. The Japanese girlfriend said on the surface that he was awesome, but behind his back she was sad. Nowadays, in many developed countries, people are becoming more and more indifferent to sex. At the same time, relationships are getting weaker and weaker. Marriage is just another way of getting along. Where's Mo Shue? Who's Mo Shue? A woman shouted. Wu Nian came back to his senses and looked at the woman. The woman walked up angrily and slapped Mo Shue's face. She said angrily, Tell me, did you spread the disease to Su Jiran? I have AIDS now. Mo Shue covered her face. She was angry at first, but after hearing the woman's words, she was shocked and panicked. Are you saying that Su Jiran has AIDS? I've checked on the women he slept with in Country X. They didn't have AIDS before, so you're the only one who could have it. You're a pair of adulterers, the woman said angrily. Mo Shue's face turned pale. You're mistaken. I don't have it either. What? You don't have it either? Did Su Jiran carry it himself? The woman was shocked. What nonsense are you talking about? Su Jiran walked in and looked at the woman who was causing trouble. Su Jiran, you're going to get me killed. The woman rushed towards Su Jiran and raised her hand. Before she could slap Su Jiran grabbed her wrist. What are you doing here? Tell me who ordered you to do this. Su Jiran said sternly. What order? I've just found out that I have AIDS. You're the only one who slept with me these days. Are you still going to deny it? The woman said with red eyes. Su Jiran flung the woman's hand away. I know very well whether I have AIDS or not. If you continue to spout nonsense, I will make sure you suffer the consequences. Are you trying to scare me now? You kept saying baby, you're amazing, and baby, you're amazing when you're having sex with me. Those are all bullsh*t. Su Jiran, you're a pervert and a piece of trash. The woman scolded. Su Jiran's face was ashen as he pulled the woman out. Mo Shue's phone rang. She saw that it was a video sent by someone and accepted it. It was a video of Su Jiran having sex with a girl. Mo Shue hung up the phone angrily and walked out of the banquet with a pale face. Su Jiran stopped Mo Shue. It's all a misunderstanding. She's slandering me on purpose. I can go to the hospital right now to prove that I'm not sick. Mo Shue slapped Su Jiran's face. You're the dirtiest person I've ever slept with. There's no need to talk about cooperation. Mo Shue left angrily. Su Jiran furrowed his brows and looked at Wu Nian with hatred in his pitch-black eyes. Wu Nian looked at him with drooping eyes. As the saying goes, it's easier to change a leopard than a leopard. It was true. If a man cheated on her once, there would be a second time. If a man played with a woman once, there would be a second time. Even a dog can't change its spots. She was glad that she didn't let Su Jiran have it even in death. Avril saw that the situation was getting out of control, and everyone was talking about it. She went on stage and said with a smile, Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to my birthday party. I'm honored to announce that I, Avril, have found a man worthy of my love. He is Gu Lingqing. Avril pointed at Gu Lingqing and the lights found Gu Lingqing. He stood in the middle of the crowd and was even more dazzling than the lights. Avril smiled sweetly and walked towards Gu Lingqing. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. He imagined some scenes and found it hard to breathe. Many people were excited. They clapped their hands and shouted, "Together, together, kiss, kiss." Wu Nian turned around and walked out quickly. She saw that Su Jieran was waiting for the elevator to go down. She didn't want to meet Su Jieran in case it caused unnecessary trouble. She went up the stairs to the top floor and took a breath of fresh air. The night in X City was beautiful. The lights were red and green, like the sea of stars. Wu Nian leaned on the railing and looked at it for a long time. She guessed that the cooperation between Su Jieran and Emo Shui was over. Stephen would meet Emo Shui tomorrow, so she might have to stay for a few more days. She felt warmth on her shoulder, and a familiar smell wafted into her nose. A suit was draped over her. Chapter 386. Wu Nian wanted to ask how did he know that she was on the rooftop. But on second thought, Gu Lingqing should also be on the rooftop, and they just happened to meet each other. What a coincidence. Wu Nian changed her words. Not a coincidence. I came here to look for you, Gu Lingqing said with a deep voice. Ha! Wu Nian was surprised. He saw you coming up here. Su Jieran should not be your competitor. Stephen is staying in this hotel. You can stay here today. Tomorrow, Stephen will bring you along when he paints for Emo Shui, Gu Lingqing said. Okay, thank you. Wu Nian said lightly. If everything goes well, you will sign the contract with Emo Shui the day after tomorrow. I will ask the lawyer to accompany you in case anything goes wrong. Gu Lingqing said again. Wu Nian had a strange feeling in her heart. If everything goes according to normal development, you should get the cooperation rights this time. I am curious, why did Mr. Gu give it to someone else? Didn't I tell you that I will give this cooperation to you and help you to complete it? You've always had a bad memory, Gu Lingqing said confidently. She remembered this, but she did not know why Gu Lingqing gave it to her. Was it because he wanted her to work for him? If she thought about it any further, she would think too highly of herself. Wu Nian smiled awkwardly. Do you think that I am Baiya? If you are Baiya, you should have told me. After all, we went through life and death together, and had some good times. When we were separated, we were forced to separate. I don't understand why you didn't tell me that you are Baiya, Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. Wu Nian looked down. If your wife is still alive, she will definitely come back when she sees that you are so infatuated with her. You are so hypocritical, Gu Lingqing blurted out. Wu Nian. She looked at him guiltily and frowned. In fact, everyone knows she's dead. It's been 2 years. If she wanted to come back, she would have come back a long time ago, Gu Lingqing added. Wu Nian instinctively felt that no matter what she said, Gu Lingqing's words would not be pleasant to hear. So she simply ignored him and looked at her phone. It was already 11:10 p.m. Well, it's getting late. I'll go back first. When do you plan to come to my house to work? Gu Lingqing locked her eyes and asked. When we go back, do you need to sign the contract? Wu Nian asked. You really have a bad memory. Don't you remember what we agreed on? We agreed in Stephen's place that you will work at my house and be responsible for taking care of my children before my wife comes back. Gu Lingqing spoke very harshly. She seemed to be in a bad mood and was venting her anger on her. His body is full of sweat. I say, Mr. Gu, you already said that your wife is dead. If I take care of your wife until she comes back, wouldn't that be the same as taking care of her for the rest of her life? Wu Nian retorted. Didn't we agree on a lifetime? What about your children after they get married? It's not appropriate for me to stay at your house anymore. I'm a private tutor, Wu Nian reminded. Then I'll take care of my children's children. When I go back, I'll buy a villa. They won't leave home. Even if they get married, I'll ask them to stay together. Wu Nian. She had a feeling that he was deliberately bickering with her. She couldn't win against him. Got it. I'm going back to sleep. She walked towards the door and pulled it, but it didn't open. She pushed the door, but it didn't open either. She got anxious. Gu Lingqing, did you close the door when you came just now? Gu Lingqing frowned and went over to help Wu Nian open the door. His palm touched the back of her palm, and Wu Nian instinctively withdrew her hand. Gu Lingqing's eyes flashed with annoyance. He looked at her angrily. I didn't close the door. It might have been blown by the wind. Then what should we do? Wu Nian pushed the door hard, but it still wouldn't open. You can open it from the inside, right? Wu Nian asked. I don't own this hotel. How would I know? Gu Lingqing replied in a low voice. Wu Nian remembered that Stephen was staying in this hotel. She immediately called him. Stephen's phone was switched off. She looked at Gu Lingqing for help. Lu Shuang was back in China now. It would take 3 hours for the people from the manor to come over. It was already midnight. Well, Avril is having a birthday party downstairs. Call her and ask her to come over, Wu Nian requested. You don't want to be in the same space as me? Gu Lingqing asked. No, I still have to go to your house to work after I go back. We're on the rooftop now. It's a little cold, and it's getting late, Wu Nian explained. Gu Lingqing put his arm around her shoulders and pulled her into his arms. It won't be so cold this way. Also, it's not appropriate for me to call Avril. Some people can't achieve anything, but they can ruin things. If she sees me with you, she won't be willing to let her mother work with you. Wu Nian thought about it and agreed. When she left, she saw Avril confessing to him. She pushed him away subconsciously and asked, Do you know anyone else? You can come over and drive us. Gu Lingqing looked at her helplessly. I'll call Stephen. I just called him. His phone is switched off, Wu Nian said disappointedly. Then let's wait. Gu Lingqing turned around and walked towards the attic. She pushed the door, and it was open. Come over here, Gu Lingqing said to Wu Nian. Wu Nian adjusted Gu Lingqing's suit. She was a little hesitant and didn't walk over. Gu Lingqing didn't know what she was doing. Was she afraid that he would eat her up? They had already given birth to a child. He sulked and turned on the flashlight on his phone. He found the switch on the wall and pressed it. Luckily, the electricity was on. The room was filled with cleaning products and cardboard boxes. He estimated that the cleaner would come over early the next morning to pick up the things. He put the mop and other cleaning products outside the door. He tore open the boxes and spread them on the floor. Wu Nian walked over and helped him quietly. Gu Lingqing glanced at her. Wu Nian blushed and continued to work. The two of them worked for 15 minutes and made a bed. Go to sleep. Someone should open the door at 6 o'clock at the most. I'll go out for a smoke. You're a heavy smoker, Wu Nian asked with concern. You're nobody to me. I don't need your concern. Gu Lingqing went out with a cold face. Wu Nian looked down. Yes, she was not even in the position to care. Wu Nian lay down on the cardboard and closed her eyes. However, she couldn't fall asleep at all. 10 minutes later, Gu Lingqing came in and lay down beside her. Wu Nian smelled the smoke on his body, and his heart ached. Now, Gu Lingqing thought that Baiya was dead. That was good. He could start a life of faith. Wu Nian slowly opened her eyes and looked into Gu Lingqing's deep eyes. Her heart tightened. Gu Lingqing turned over, pressed her down on the cardboard, and kissed her lips. Wu Nian opened her eyes wide in shock and subconsciously pushed his shoulders. Chapter 387. Wu Nian was shocked. She didn't expect Gu Lingqing to do this. She pushed his hand in panic. The more she pushed him, the stronger he was. She couldn't resist at all. She turned her face away and wanted to break away from his lips. At least she could speak. It was good to wake up Gu Lingqing. He looked like he had lost his mind, but he didn't let her escape at all. He pressed her head and kissed her fiercely like a storm. His breath was on her face, and the strength of his hands was increasing. She felt ashamed, but she had a reaction that was hard to say. When the Creator created women, he forgot to make a lock below, so sometimes it was passive. Gu Lingqing kissed for 5 minutes. He didn't stop. Instead, he went deeper, as if he had melted his 2 years of waiting, pain, heartache, and resentment into this kiss. Wu Nian struggled until she had no strength left. He took the opportunity to pull down her pants. Wu Nian reacted. He was dragging her, but she was imagining it. Wu Nian groaned. Gu Lingqing let go of her lips. She looked at him with red eyes and pursed her lips. Gu Lingqing didn't move. He said in a low voice, "Since I want you, I will be responsible." Wu Nian punched him on the shoulder. She was no longer an 18-year-old girl. It was useless to cry when such a thing happened. It was unrealistic to ask him to go out. Men wouldn't want to leave unless there was a special situation before they could relieve themselves. Gu Lingqing held her hand. Since she didn't admit that she was Baiya, it didn't matter. He wouldn't force her. He would treat her as Wu Nian and pursue her again. Gu Lingqing kissed her hand. Wu Nian withdrew her hand. He kissed her lips again and turned his face away. He still touched the place where she couldn't avoid. Wu Nian pushed his hand. It was already like this, but she felt aggrieved if she didn't do anything. Gu Lingqing held her hand that was messing around and pressed it against her side. He said hoarsely, "You reacted very well. This is the same as your cavernous body. It's the human body's self-protection mechanism. You're so big, so you'll definitely feel pain," Wu Nian explained. Gu Lingqing smiled. "I'll be gentler. Don't push me anymore." Wu Nian's heart throbbed. He was very familiar with this side of him. "I can sue you." Gu Lingqing kissed her lips. Wu Nian saw that he wasn't afraid, nor was he angry. It was as if he had her in his grasp. She certainly would not sue him. On the one hand, he was Xiao Yan's father, and Xiao Yan needed his father to take care of him. On the other hand, she valued his reputation more than her life. How could she do anything to hurt him? However, she felt very aggrieved. The corners of Gu Lingqing's lips curled up. Before he could relax, he felt that his body and mind were both satisfied. He suddenly became enlightened, and the hostility on his body also disappeared. He became gentle and he undid the zipper on her back. "No, I'm cold," Wu Nian rejected him. "Hug me tightly if you're cold." "I'm hot," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian. However, he didn't take off her dress. He was afraid that she would really be cold. He just pulled her dress down and revealed the gel pad. Wu Nian blushed. "Don't take it off." He didn't know how to play with it. Girls' things were unfamiliar to him. He kissed her chest, collarbone and retreated. Wu Nian knew what he was going to do. She held his arm. "Don't be like this. I haven't showered yet." Gu Lingqing laughed. He even said that she wasn't Baiya. He knew his habits, so she knew what he was going to do the moment he retreated. "Then I'm coming in," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian didn't know whether to agree or not. She turned her face away. He turned her face. "Wu Nian, I like you. What I said to you previously wasn't a lie." Wu Nian's heart was beating extremely fast. Under his patience, she became more and more emotional. She now knew why Alan was so good. But she only felt like a burden. Because her heart was still with Gu Lingqing. She knew that she couldn't accept Alan, so she felt apologetic and guilty. However, she was an inauspicious person. If she stayed by Gu Lingqing's side, she would only be a burden. She didn't want the things in the past to happen again. She just wanted to see him safe and sound from afar. After Gu Lingqing did that, he still hugged her tightly, as if he was afraid that she would disappear. Wu Nian frowned. She had already slept with him. She didn't think that going to his house was just to be a home tutor. However, she couldn't directly reject the opportunity to be by Xiao Yan's side. If she rejected it, the opportunity wouldn't come again. If she turned back, it probably wouldn't be so simple. Maybe it was because her mind was still not clear, or maybe it was too late and her mind was muddled. She felt a little annoyed, so she closed her eyes and calmed down for a few minutes. "Are we considered to be buddies?" Wu Nian asked. Gu Lingqing looked at her, covered the two of them with the clothes and said with certainty, "I treat you as my girlfriend." "I don't want to," Wu Nian emphasized. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. "Then how do you want me to make it up to you?" "We can't let a third party know about our relationship. If a third party knows, I will immediately move out of your house and our contract will be terminated. Besides," Wu Nian pursed her lips. Besides, he couldn't stop her from seeing Xiao Yan. But saying this would be too targeted. She was afraid that Gu Lingqing would suspect her. Besides what? Gu Gu Lingqing asked with a good temper. You have to promise me 3 things unconditionally. Wu Nian changed her words. Gu Lingqing smiled. Okay, I promise you everything. Wu Nian lowered her head. She actually slept with Gu Lingqing again. Everything, it was like a dream, so unreal, so beyond her imagination and control. Sure enough, the plan was not as fast as the changes. Break up with Alan. Gu Lingqing requested. She had slept with Gu Lingqing now, and it was not good to delay Alan. Wu Nian nodded. She should renegotiate with Alan. You don't have to worry about Lu Shuang. I will arrange it. It is safer than Alan's arrangement. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise. How do you know? Lu Shuang is not a businessman. She must have made an agreement with Shen Yan when she got involved in this cooperation. What she wants most is to leave Shen Yan. That's why she did it herself, and even went to Stephen's Island. Gu Lingqing guessed. Wu Nian's eyes darkened. She believed that as long as Gu Lingqing intervened, Lu Shuang would definitely leave. However, she was afraid that he would become enemies with Shen Yan. He was different from Alan. Alan was a British aristocrat. Even if Shen Yan knew that it was Alan who did it, she would not do anything to Alan for the sake of the overall situation. But he was different. He was from Country A. His company was in Country A. His parents, family, brothers and friends were all in Country A. Chapter 388. She couldn't drag him down as soon as she had sex with him. Mr. Gu. What did you call me? Gu Lingqing frowned. You promised me that you wouldn't let a third person know. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way I address you. You don't have to be angry with me, Wu Nian retorted. I'll pay attention when there are many people around. But now it's just the 2 of us. The way you address me is too distant. It makes me feel distant, Gu Lingqing explained. Wu Nian thought about it and changed the way she addressed him. Lingqing, it's like this. You've misunderstood Lu Shuang. It's not about that. Ever since he got together with Shen Yan, he had a falling out with his family. You don't have to worry about this. After all, the one who started the trouble has to end it. Is that really the case? Then why did you get close to Alan? Gu Lingqing was suspicious. Shen Yan said that if we can't get the painting at the auction, we should look for Alan. Alan and Stephen are good friends. Coincidentally, I saved Alan on the plane. So I got close to Alan and asked him to bring us to the island, Wu Nian said. We've already been to the island. Alan has already returned to China. He has a fiancée. You shouldn't contact him anymore, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian looked down. I'm a little sleepy. I'll sleep for a while. She closed her eyes. Gu Lingqing didn't say anything else. She rolled over, her back to him. She and Gu Lingqing were like this. She couldn't keep Alan waiting. But there were some things that she needed Alan's help with. She thought that she wouldn't be able to sleep. Unexpectedly, she slept until dawn and woke up when someone came to open the door. Hey, why are you here? The cleaner yelled. Wu Nian thought of what she did with Gu Lingqing last night. She blushed and felt a little embarrassed. She could tell from the cleaner's eyes that she wasn't innocent. Gu Lingqing took out $100 and gave it to the cleaner. I was accidentally locked on the rooftop yesterday. Don't tell anyone about this. Oh. The cleaner took the money and readily agreed. Gu Lingqing pulled Wu Nian up and held her hand as they walked towards the exit. Wu Nian pulled her hand back. Gu Lingqing glanced at her. It's still early. Stephen probably hasn't woken up yet. I'll book a room here. You can rest there for a while. I'll go out and buy clothes for you later. It's still early and the mall isn't open yet. I'll go back and pack my luggage. I'll go back tomorrow after the negotiation, Wu Nian said with her head lowered. You should rest. You got up early yesterday morning to send Lu Shuang off, and you slept so late last night. You have dark circles under your eyes. Also, if Mo Shui calls Stephen, he will take you there. If you go back to the manor, you might have to wait for a few hours. Mo Shui can't wait. Mo Shui can't wait, Gu Lingqing said gently. Wu Nian couldn't dissuade him. I'll book the room myself. Gu Lingqing didn't force her. When Wu Nian was booking a room at the front desk, Her phone rang. She took it out and saw that it was a message from the bank, reminding her that her account had increased to 10 million. Gu Lingqing also texted her. Ask me if it's not enough. Wu Nian was speechless. I have money. It's not appropriate for me to take your money. I'll return it to you when I get back. Wu Nian texted Gu Lingqing back. How much savings does your teacher at the orphanage have? The cheapest room here is more than 3,000. Where did you get so much money? Gu Lingqing also texted her back. Wu Nian pursed her lips and looked at Gu Lingqing. He kept his phone and looked at her too. Wu Nian lowered her head and texted. I won more than $1 million from Su Jiran last time. It's enough for me to use for the rest of my life. I'll leave the money with you. Help me save it and give it to me when I need it. Gu Lingqing replied and added. Let's not talk about this anymore. I'll go out and buy clothes for you. I'll go buy it myself. Don't you know what I like? Wu Nian texted him quickly, but Gu Lingqing had already left. She was speechless. Wu Nian went back to her room and took a hot shower. She put on the hotel bathrobe and lay on the bed to sleep. She didn't know how long she had slept, but she was woken up by her phone ringing. She took out her phone from her bag and saw it was a call from Steven. She picked it up immediately. I'm sorry. I didn't want that B*TCH to disturb me last night, so I turned off my phone. Are you looking for me to talk about a collaboration? Steven said with a smile. Wu Nian was ambiguous and answered with a dry smile. She was the one who asked him to open the door on the rooftop yesterday. Now that they had all come down from the rooftop, she felt guilty if others knew that she and Gu Lingqing had spent the whole night on the rooftop. Don't worry about that. I've promised Gu Lingqing that I'll bring you along when I go to paint for her. Have you prepared the business plan? Steven asked. Business plan, right? Wu Nian hesitated. Haha, I know you. Only people who want to do business understand. You can ask Lingqing when you're free. Lingqing should know about it. You should prepare it early. Mo Shui is a very picky person. That's all for now. I'm going to have breakfast first. I'll call you after she calls me. Steven said and hung up the phone. Wu Nian looked at the time. It was 11 am. Steven ate his breakfast a little later than usual. She called Gu Lingqing. You're up? Gu Lingqing asked. Yes. Do you know about the business plan? Wu Nian asked. Come and open the door, Gu Lingqing said. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. She got off the bed and put on the hotel's disposable slippers. She walked to the door and looked through the peephole. Gu Lingqing was standing at her door. She opened the door in surprise. Gu Lingqing was carrying several bags in her hands. Have you been here for a long time? Wu Nian asked softly. No, I just got here, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. She walked in and put all the bags on the sofa. She turned around and looked at her. Wu Nian then remembered that she was still wearing the hotel bathrobe. She didn't wear anything inside. She adjusted her clothes awkwardly. I've finished the business plan. Change your clothes first. I'll take you out for dinner, Gu Lingqing said and sat down on the sofa. She took out a stack of papers from one of the bags and put it on the coffee table. Wu Nian picked it up and flipped through it. It was all professional jargon of jewelry business. She couldn't understand it. The only thing she could understand were some branches and some data. Have you talked to Sheniyan about this? Yes. If Mo Shui doesn't agree, will we give in? No. Gu Lingqing looked at her. Aren't you going to change your clothes? Oh. Wu Nian felt awkward. She tucked her hair behind her ear, picked up the clothes on the sofa and walked to the bathroom. She deliberately locked the door. Gu Lingqing. He walked up and knocked on the door. Chapter 389. Wash your hands, Gu Lingqing said. Okay. Wu Nian opened the door and stood at the side. Gu Lingqing turned on the tap, absorbed the water, and looked at Wu Nian in the mirror. She stood quietly at the side, her eyes slightly lowered, as if she was following his gaze. He thought of her stubbornness, and his gaze sharpened. Why did you lock the door? Are you afraid that I'll eat you up? That it's a habit, Wu Nian explained. Gu Lingqing turned around and looked at her. Did you call Alan? I came back too early. I just woke up, and I didn't have the time. Is it because you don't want to call? Gu Lingqing questioned, his gaze locked onto her. Wu Nian felt the pressure increase. You don't believe me? I'm afraid that you'll run away. Or go out and pretend that you don't know me. You're 6 years younger than me, and you have a lot of youth to play with. I have 2 kids and I can't wait. Gu Lingqing said sarcastically. Why did Wu Nian feel that he was talking about Baiya? His gaze was locked. Even if you have 2 kids, there are still plenty of women who like you. Didn't Avril confess to you last night? Are there more women who like me than you? Su Jiran, Alan, and others I don't know. Am I the spare tire or are they the spare tire? Gu Lingqing said angrily. Spare tire? He was the one who was too domineering and forced his way in. She had never planned to date him again, and it was all her fault. She was a fickle woman, and she played with love. Wu Nian's gaze turned cold, and his expression hardened. If you think you're the spare tire, then you're the spare tire. If you think so, I can't change your mind. Now I'm going to change, please get out. Gu Lingqing held her shoulders and pushed her against the wall. His eyes were bloodshot. You don't care about me that much? You don't even want to explain if I think so? If you don't believe me, no matter how I explain, it's useless. How do you expect me to believe you? Gu Lingqing said in a low voice and looked at her sharply. Wu Nian looked at him coldly. Since you don't believe me, why should I say more? If you want to end our relationship, then end it. Gu Lingqing purses her lips and looks at her. Her black pupils are locked, and her breathing becomes unstable, all on her face. It's over, right? Gu Lingqing asked. Wu Nian's heart was filled with sorrow, but he didn't plan to start or end, so he didn't feel too conflicted. He nodded. Stop dreaming. It's impossible. I'll wait for you outside. Gu Lingqing walked out, looking a little dispirited. Wu Nian stared blankly for a while, then sighed. His eyes became misty. How many lovers did a person's sin have to drag down before he could be set free? She wiped her tears and looked at herself in the mirror. Didn't they say that plastic surgery and changing one's name could change one's fate and original trajectory? Why did she feel that after going around in circles, she was still back to the starting point? She wiped her tears, splashed her face with cold water, and dried the water on her face. Her eyes were a little red. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and opened them again. She regained her composure, changed her clothes, and went out. Gu Lingqing smoked 3 cigarettes and was smoking the 4th. Wu Nian snatched the cigarette from his hand and pinched out the butt. Smoking is bad for your health. Gu Lingqing hugged her waist and held her in his arms. He lowered his head and kissed her lips. It was hard, forceful, fierce and surging. The strong masculine breath mixed with the mature smell of smoke rushed into her internal organs, and Wu Nian couldn't resist it at all. Based on her understanding of Gu Lingqing, at this moment, if she pushed him away, he would kiss her even deeper. She would be even more unable to resist, and could only let him kiss her. Gu Lingqing kissed her for 5 minutes before letting her go. His eyes were filled with pain and he asked, You study psychology. Tell me, what should I do now? There are 2 kinds of feelings in the world that are the most tempting. One is that you can't get it, and the other is that you have lost it. In fact, if you jump out of this mental barrier, you will find that there are many better people in the world. Is that what you think? So, you will quickly forget a relationship, even if that relationship is hard and unforgettable. Gu Lingqing questioned. What I think is not important. What's important is that you think so. Wu Nian said softly. I want to be with you, to live a simple life. There doesn't need to be many things happening every day. As long as we have breakfast together, have dinner together, sleep on the same bed, we can discuss our children's studies, growth, and troubles in life. We can grow old together. That's good enough. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. His eyes were red. He didn't ask for much. He didn't ask for much. It would be good if he didn't have to wait all the time. Wu Nian's eyes were also red. The emotions that she had tried so hard to control were stirred, and tears flowed out. She yearned for the kind of life that Gu Lingqing talked about. That was a home. No matter how far she drifted, she would want to go back. In this life, people come and go alone. They look for things, grow up alone, and work alone. They only want to find someone they can protect. Then, they won't be lonely anymore. Their soul will also have a home. When they die, they won't feel that their life has been in vain. However, she was afraid that if she stayed by his side, he would only die. If he died, her world would collapse. She just wanted to stay by his side quietly, take care of him, take care of Xiaoyan. That was enough for her. When Gu Lingqing saw her crying, all his anger, complaints, and unwillingness turned into pity. He kissed her tears. Xiaoyan, we can do it. Wu Nian nodded. Gu Lingqing kissed her again. You must be hungry. Let's go out to eat first. Wu Nian shook her head. I'll order in my room to eat. It's too dangerous to eat outside. What's the danger you're talking about? Gu Lingqing asked sharply. I don't want other people to find out about our relationship, Wu Nian said. What if other people find out about our relationship? What kind of danger will happen? Gu Lingqing asked. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Wu Nian wanted to get down from Gu Lingqing's lap. Gu Lingqing hugged her and didn't let her get down. Wu Nian, you're a coward. Whenever you encounter something, you like to hide in your shell. That's because you don't know my past and the way my character was nurtured. I'm a coward. What's wrong with being a coward? Those who died before me were all bold and ignorant. That's just my character. If you like me, then like me. If not, then forget it. Gu Lingqing let go of Wu Nian. Wu Nian stood up. She didn't dare to look at Gu Lingqing. She picked up the built-in phone and called the front desk to order food. She heard a bang and looked at the door. Gu Lingqing had gone out. Chapter 390. Gu Lingqing was such a proud person. But she used his love to hurt him wantonly. She tried her best to show him that a woman was willful, domineering, unreasonable, mean and difficult to get along with. She would soon push him far, far away, until his love was consumed. But it didn't matter, as long as she loved him, as long as she knew that she was doing the right thing. Gu Lingqing had sacrificed a lot for her. She still remembered how he looked in his military uniform. He was upright and righteous, and his gaze could determine victory from 1,000 miles away. It was a kind of arrogance, a kind of pride. She still remembered when they first met, he said, I am a soldier, I will protect you. He went to a military school to study at a very early age. He started as a special forces soldier and made great achievements. Without the help of his family, he risked his life to go deep into the enemy's territory and made great achievements. These were all his dreams, to protect his family and country. He was not forced, nor was he forced, but it was something he loved. His career. Because of her, he almost became a traitor. Because of her, he almost died on the deserted island. Because of her, he left the military. How could she bear to put him in danger again? Wu Nian wiped her tears and turned over. She didn't even have the appetite to eat and curled up. Perhaps Gu Lingqing would be very sad and tormented during this period, but it would be fine after this period. When the past feelings were consumed, separation would be a relief. Wu Nian lay for half an hour before someone knocked on the door. She got up from the bed and opened the door when she saw it was the waiter. Dear customer, your order is steak, the waiter said respectfully. Wu Nian was surprised. I didn't order it, you sent it to the wrong place. That's right, it was a Mr. Gu who ordered it. He told you not to starve, the waiter explained. Wu Nian understood that it was Gu Lingqing who ordered it. How did he know that she didn't order it? I understand, thank you, Wu Nian said. The waiter pushed the cart in and opened the lid. Inside were steak, vegetable salad, foie gras, and a glass of red wine. Wu Nian ate his steak while studying Gu Lingqing's proposal. If there was something she didn't understand, she would do it. She would memorize the key points, especially the reasons to convince Mo Shui to cooperate. Just as he finished eating, his phone rang. She saw it was Stephen and answered. Where are you? Mo Shui called and asked me to come over, Stephen said. I'm at the hotel. I'll wait for you in the lobby. Wu Nian put the proposal in her bag, tidied up her hair, applied some honey cream, foundation, eyeliner, mascara and lipstick and hurried downstairs. Stephen was already there, dressed casually, accompanied by his butler, who had brought his painting tools. Sorry I'm late, Wunyan apologized. It's okay, we just arrived. Stephen looked her up and down. I thought you were really beautiful yesterday. No man could resist you. Wunyan. In other words, she wasn't pretty today. When Stephen mentioned yesterday, she remembered what had happened on the top floor. She blushed and lowered her head. A luxurious Rolls-Royce drove over. The butler opened the door. Stephen sat in the back seat, and Wunyan sat next to him. The butler sat in the front passenger seat. Stephen looked at Wunyan again. Wunyan felt uncomfortable being stared at. She asked, "Is there something on my face?" "The dress is beautiful. It suits you very well," Stephen said with a smile. "Thank you," Wunyan said politely. "Haha." Stephen laughed. "Alan called me this morning and asked about you." "You know my situation better than I do. You didn't call him?" Stephen asked. "I woke up too late. I just had lunch, so I didn't have time," Wunyan explained. "Really? Haha." Stephen laughed again. Wunyan felt that his laughter was weird, so she didn't want to talk to him anymore. She turned her face away and looked out of the window. She would deal with Alan sooner or later, but not now. She would wait until she went to Emo Shue's place. After driving for half an hour, they arrived at Emo Shue's castle. There were two expressionless guards at the door. The driver was sent by Emo Shue to pick Stephen up. After a quick check, he let them in. Emo Shue's castle was very dreamy. There was a garden of roses and roses inside the door. Normal roses would start to wither in September, but the flowers here were blooming and full of fragrance. After entering the garden, they saw the retro design of the courtyard and the lake. After driving for another 3 minutes, they finally arrived at the majestic old castle. Emo Shue's butler was already waiting for them at the door. Wunyan followed Stephen in. They walked through a long corridor before they reached the door of the main hall. Before entering, she heard the laughter of young girls. The guard opened the door. She saw Emo Shue, Avril, a man she didn't know, and Gu Lingqing. She didn't expect Gu Lingqing to be here. Surprised, she walked in with her head down. Emo Shue looked at Stephen and said in disdain, "When did you change from an artist to a lobbyist? You even brought someone here to paint." "I was afraid that you would be cheated, so I introduced a reliable person to you." Stephen sat down in front of Emo Shue. "You are the one who cheated me the most. Let's not discuss whether you cheated me or I cheated you first. You talked to her first." Stephen picked up the orange on the table and peeled it. Emo Shue rolled her eyes at Stephen and said to Wunyan indifferently, "Come with me. There are too many irrelevant people here." Everyone knew that Emo Shue was referring to Stephen when she said outsiders. Stephen didn't show any strange expression and continued to eat his orange. Wunyan followed Emo Shue to her study. Emo Shue sat on the sofa and spun around. She looked at Wunyan lazily. "Since Stephen introduced you, I'll give you a chance. 19, I'll get 9 and you get 1. If the ratio is not like this, no way." Wunyan smiled. "Do you know how many jewelers there are in country A? Does it have anything to do with me?" Emo Shue said arrogantly. "Emo Shue, you're interested in the market of country A because of the spending power of the people there. Country A has been developing rapidly in the past 2 years. The annual sales of luxury goods exceed 800 billion, and jewelry occupies 65% of the market. The profits in country A are very good." Emo Shue shrugged. "My company can occupy 80% of the market because the boss behind my company is a top figure in the political and social circle of country A. We hope to split it 50-50. The details are in the proposal." Wunyan passed the proposal to Emo Shue. Emo Shue took it and glanced at it. She sneered, "The jewelry is mine, and the designer is mine too. You're just helping me buy it, and you want 50% of the profits? Isn't it too much?" When a movie is produced and broadcasted, the sales platform usually wants 60% of the sales. Wunyan reminded. Chapter 391. What? Wunyan was surprised by Emo Shue's sudden question. Emo Shue smirked. Mr. Gu usually doesn't want to talk to Avril. He doesn't even look at her. Every time he shows up, You will be there. Don't tell me that you don't know each other. Wu Nian understood and smiled. I can't believe we are fated to meet each other. Are you guys related? If there is no relationship, why would he give this cooperation to you? Mo Shui said aggressively. The last time I went to Stephen's Island, Mr. Gu was there too. There was an accident and they all thought that I saved them. I think that's probably the reason. There's a bit of luck involved. In fact, most of the successful people from ancient times to the present had a bit of luck. I'm lucky. Very well, if you work with me, I believe you will be lucky too, Wu Nian said with a smile. You're eloquent. I'll think about it. The word think was mostly an excuse. Often after thinking about it, there would be endless waiting. I'll be back tomorrow. I hope you'll let me know tomorrow. My company is in the jewelry business. If you don't agree, I'll have to go to Sri Lanka. There are some jewelers there to talk to. Wu Nian nodded. Wait, didn't you come here to talk to me? Mo Shui was suspicious and a little angry. My boss heard that you're looking for a partner in Country A, so he came here immediately. After all, he's familiar with Country X. He's also familiar with you. But if you don't like us, we can only look for other suppliers. To be honest, no matter who we work with, we'll take 80% of the market. You know that the sales of luxury goods mainly rely on reputation and connections. My company already has connections. As for reputation, it's in the operation. How to operate is explained clearly in my proposal. If you have other things to do, I won't disturb you anymore. I'll wait for your good news. Wu Nian nodded. Mo Shui's expression softened. Since you're here, have dinner before you leave. The manor is huge. I'll let Avril show you around. Then I'll do as you say. Wu Nian smiled politely. Mo Shui called Avril and Avril came up. Let's go, pretty girl, Avril said with a smile. She walked over and held onto Wu Nian's arm. Other than Lu Shuang, Wu Nian wasn't used to being so close to other girls. He felt uncomfortable because he wasn't familiar with them. Qing, I'm taking her to the manor to play. Do you want to come along? Avril called out to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing glanced at Wu Nian's face and stood up. Wu Nian's heart trembled and he lowered his eyes. If Mo Shui didn't mention it, she wouldn't have noticed it. Now that she thought about it, it seemed that he really went wherever she went. Avril watched as Gu Lingqing left. She ran towards Gu Lingqing excitedly and held onto Gu Lingqing's arm. Let me show you the most magical castle in X City. It has a history of 500 years. My mother said that the princess used to live in it. Castle. She still remembered that when she came back from America, she received a strange case. She went to the castle and found many corpses in the attic. Ever since that incident, she didn't have a good impression of any castle. Mo Shui's manor had a special car. The driver drove. Avril got in first and sat in the first row. Gu Lingqing waited for Wu Nian to get in the car. Wu Nian sat in the second row. Hurry up, Qing, Avril said enthusiastically. Gu Lingqing got in the car and sat in the last row. He looked to the left. Avril looked at Gu Lingqing. She was a little disappointed that he didn't sit with her. The castle was at the northernmost part of the manor. It only took 5 minutes to get there. Avril jumped out of the car and stood in the last row. Wu Nian had a strange feeling. He pretended to be calm and got out of the car. Gu Lingqing glanced at Wu Nian from the corner of his eyes. He frowned slightly and got out of the car. Avril held onto Gu Lingqing's arm and said coquettishly, "Can you sit with me from now on? I think I've made myself very clear last time." Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice, "I don't mind you having 2 kids. I also don't mind you having a wife. Anyway, your wife isn't in X City. You can look for me when you come," Avril said generously. Wu Nian was speechless. The women in X country were really open-minded. It was a different country with a different culture. She definitely couldn't adapt to X country. Gu Lingqing took Avril's hand away. "Please behave yourself." "All right. Just think of it as me thinking too much. I won't give up anyway." Avril walked towards the castle. The castle was very dark. He couldn't see anything. A warm hand held onto Wu Nian's hand. The palm was a little rough. There were only her, Avril, and Gu Lingqing here. Other than Gu Lingqing, There was no one else. Avril turned on the flashlight on her phone. Wu Nian instinctively pulled his hand back and looked at Gu Lingqing. He was completely hidden in the darkness. His expression couldn't be seen. Avril used the light from her phone to light up the oil lamp. She turned off the flashlight and explained, "My mother said that when we visit the castle, we should use an oil lamp. It's better in the dark." "Your mother likes excitement. Or rather, she likes to provoke people," Wu Nian said calmly. Avril laughed. "I think so. Every time there are guests, she likes to let them enter the castle. Haha. Then she will watch them run out in panic." Huh. Wu Nian's lips twitched. He looked at the wall. Some of the paintings on the wall were very bloody. Under the dim light, it was especially scary. But to her, it was just child's play. She had seen many dead people and performed many surgeries. She didn't believe in spirits at all. Since she didn't believe in them, she wouldn't be afraid. Avril stopped in front of a painting and said, "This painting is of a pirate. This pirate's story is a little tragic. Rumor has it that he was cursed and could only stay in the Caribbean Sea. But a soldier didn't believe it. He forcefully brought him out of the Caribbean Sea and hanged him. Before he died, he said that he would steal the souls of everyone who saw his face. It must be a scary story." "It does sound scary," Wu Nian replied. Avril walked up the stairs. Wu Nian followed. When she passed by the painting of the pirate, she heard a cold laugh. She looked at the painting of the pirate. The pirate, who had a serious expression on his face, had a creepy smile. Gu Lingqing saw it too. He put his hand on her waist. Wu Nian knew that he wanted to protect her. She was touched. She purposely made him angry in the morning. He left angrily, but he ordered lunch for her. Now he was protecting her meticulously. Chapter 392. Seeing that the people behind her didn't respond, Avril turned around and looked at the picture. She said in horror, "What's going on? Weren't the pirates smiling just now? Why are they smiling now?" This is a two-sided drawing. Because of the position and lighting, the angle of view is different, so you'll see a different picture, Wu Nian explained. "Oh, I see. Qing, I'm a little scared. Can you hold my hand and walk?" Avril said to Gu Lingqing. Wu Nian chuckled. Gu Lingqing pinched her waist for a moment before letting go of her. Avril heard Wu Nian's laughter and asked, "What are you laughing at?" "Your mother is very cute," Wu Nian said meaningfully. "She's so pitiful that no one loves her." "Let's continue up," Avril said. Suddenly, something fell from above. Avril screamed in shock. Wu Nian was caught off guard. He was also shocked and took a step back. Avril shone the oil lamp on the ground. There was nothing. She asked Gu Lingqing in horror, "Qing, do you see anything? I'm scared." Gu Lingqing took the oil lamp from her hand and said to her in a low voice, "You're a little timid, and you're always so jumpy. I can tour around here by myself. If you're afraid, you can wait outside." Avril was speechless. She came here often. Why would she be scared? She wanted Gu Lingqing to protect her, but he didn't even bother to look at her. "Are you scared?" Avril asked Wu Nian. "How about we turn on the light and make it brighter? We can see better," Wu Nian suggested. She wasn't scared at all. The scariest thing in the world wasn't these ghosts, but the human heart. "There's no light here. It's best not to use a flashlight. Otherwise you'll see something unexpected," Avril muttered. "So, do you mean to let us look or not?" Gu Lingqing asked coldly. "Do you want to see? If so, I'll take you in. If not, I'll take you out," Avril said. "Then let's go," Gu Lingqing said and walked in front. Avril held Gu Lingqing's arm. Wu Nian stood behind them and walked downstairs. Gu Lingqing tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. He frowned and looked at Avril. "How do I open the door?" "Just pull." Avril tried, but it wouldn't budge. She pulled with both hands, but it still wouldn't budge. She angrily knocked on the door. "Is there anyone outside? Open up, Slack. Open up." Slack was the chauffeur who had driven them there, and no one answered. Avril frowned and kicked the door hard. "Open, Edie," Avril said. She picked up her phone and prepared to make a call, but there was no signal at all. She looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise and asked, Qing, is there a signal on your phone? Gu Lingqing took out his phone. Ariel craned her neck to see. There was no signal on Gu Lingqing's phone either. She was astonished. How could it be? There's usually a signal here. What the hell? Is it fun? I'll take a break first. Gu Lingqing put the oil lamp on the coffee table and sat on the sofa. I'm not playing. I really didn't ask anyone to lock the door. I'm not lying to you, Avril said anxiously. Gu Lingqing paid no attention to her. Avril knocked on the door. Sykes, open up. If you don't, I'll fire you. Slack. There was still no sound from outside. Wu Nian held Avril's hand. Her palms were sweaty from fear. Wu Nian frowned and looked at Gu Lingqing. Mr. Gu, Avril didn't lie. She really didn't lock the door. Come and sit. Since she didn't lock the door, nobody would listen to her. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian held Avril's hand and sat in front of Gu Lingqing. What's going on? The people in the manor know that I'm a coward. I don't dare to lock the door. I'm so scared. Avril looked at Gu Lingqing in fear. Your mother will come looking for you in half a day. You can sit here if you're scared. Don't go anywhere, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Then where are you going? Avril sat next to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing didn't say anything. She looked at Wu Nian. Wu Nian lowered her head. She wasn't a troublemaker. Since Avril didn't do it on purpose, she was worried about other dangers. It was safer for everyone to sit together. Mo Shui would probably come looking for her at night. No one said anything. Avril leaned closer and closer to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing frowned and stood up. Where are you going? Avril asked worriedly. The washroom. There should be one here, right? Gu Lingqing asked. Yes, I'll take you there. Avril stood up and walked towards the washroom. Gu Lingqing went into the washroom. Seeing that Avril didn't leave, he frowned and reached out to close the door. Avril pushed the door and said worriedly, You didn't lock the door. I'm scared. I'm sorry. We're men and women. Gu Lingqing closed the door forcefully. He washed his hands and came out. Avril wasn't there. He walked to the sofa. Wu Nian used his phone's flashlight to illuminate the room. Where is she? Wu Nian asked. She didn't come back? Gu Lingqing was suspicious. Wu Nian shook her head. She kept saying she was scared. She still sticks to you. You're back, but she hasn't. Could something have happened to her? Avril. Wu Nian shouted loudly. No one answered her. The cold wind in the castle sounded like the laughter of the devil. Avril. Wu Nian shouted again. Still no one answered her. She was worried. She looked at Gu Lingqing and said, Let's look around. Something doesn't feel right. Why do I feel like it's a prank? She purposely led us to look at the pirate map. She purposely made a fuss. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. She did it on purpose at the beginning, but after the door was locked, she didn't do it on purpose anymore. When I held her hand, her palm was covered in cold sweat. It was secreted out of fear. She couldn't fake it, Wu Nian said in a deep voice. He stood up and walked towards the line of defense in the washroom, shouting, Avril. Gu Lingqing followed behind Wu Nian. She shone the flashlight downstairs. That door was closed when we came in. It's open now. Wu Nian immediately walked towards the door. Gu Lingqing held her hand. Stand behind me. Wu Nian thought for a moment and stood behind Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing walked towards the door and scanned the room with the flashlight. There were a few dark paintings, a fireplace, a table for wooden chairs and a rocking chair. The chairs were still shaking. Someone was in this room just now, Wu Nian said. There are two possibilities. One, it's a prank. Two, Avril was drugged, Gu Lingqing said. Chapter 393. Do you think it was done by one person or two? Gu Lingqing asked. No less than two people. They drugged Avril and didn't let the lamp fall to the ground. One person couldn't have done it. The one who locked the door didn't come in from the front door because the door was locked from the outside. If the one who locked the door came in, then there must be another way in. Wu Nian walked to the fireplace and looked at the ashes inside. Gu Lingqing, look. Gu Lingqing walked over and saw the drag marks on the ground. I'll go take a look. He went in and quickly came out. Oil splashed down from above. Then there were more than 10 pieces of wood that were on fire. When the wood came into contact with the oil, it burst into flames. Gu Lingqing pulled Wu Nian's hand and took 3 steps back. Break the door, Gu Lingqing said. He picked up a chair, walked out, and smashed it against the door. Once, twice, 3 times. On the 6th time, the door was smashed open. Sykes had been stabbed in the neck. He was lying on the steering wheel with blood all over the ground. Wu Nian put his hand under Sykes's nose. He was already dead. He shook his head at Gu Lingqing. Run forward and call Mo Shui when there's a signal. Tell her to close the door and get the surveillance footage immediately, Gu Lingqing said. He climbed onto the roof of the car and looked around. I see them. There are 3 of them. I'll go after them. Gu Lingqing jumped off the roof of the car and quickly ran toward the north gate. Wu Nian immediately called Mo Shui when there was a signal. Mo Shui, something happened. Someone kidnapped Avril. Send someone to the north gate immediately. After saying that, Wu Nian hung up the phone and ran towards the north gate. Gu Lingqing saw the 3 people shoving Avril into the van and grabbing the door. Gu Lingqing, be careful, Wu Nian shouted worriedly. Gu Lingqing jumped into the van. Another person was kicked out of the other door. When the man's companion saw that his companion had been attacked, he immediately got out of the car with a knife in his hand and warned fiercely, "Mind your own business." Gu Lingqing looked at the 2 masked men coldly and rushed over. He was so fast that one of the masked men's hands was restrained by him, and the knife fell to the ground. The other wanted to help, but Gu Lingqing grabbed his wrist and pressed him against the car door. The man on the ground clutched his stomach and crawled up. When he saw Mo Shui's men coming over, he immediately ran away. Catch him, Mo Shui said harshly. Some of the bodyguards ran towards the escaping man, while the rest helped Gu Lingqing to pin down the 2 men. Where is Avril? Mo Shui asked Wu Nian. In the car, Wu Nian said. The butler opened the car door and carried Avril out. He reported to Mo Shui, "Miss is unconscious." Mo Shui angrily took off the mask of the masked man and asked in surprise, "It's you?" The masked man lowered his head in panic. You know him? Stephen asked. My nephew. He's a lazy man who likes to eat, drink, and gamble. Last week, he borrowed 2 million from me, but I refused. I didn't expect him to do such a crazy thing. Mo Shui was so angry that her teeth itched. Auntie, you have so much money. What's wrong with giving me 2 million? If I don't pay you back next week, my hand will be gone. That's your business. I won't give you my money. Send him to the police station, Mo Shui said coldly. It seems that you're in a bad mood today. I won't disturb you anymore. I'll continue painting for you tomorrow, Stephen said. Mo Shui rolled her eyes at him. I didn't get my money from the ground. Both of them are scheming against me. You're so smart. Who can scheme against you? If you think that the person I introduced is unreliable, then don't cooperate with him. This is your freedom. Don't exaggerate the truth, Stephen said unhappily. Then why did you suddenly paint for me? Don't tell me that you don't want anything. I don't believe you, Mo Shui said harshly. Stephen sneered. You're always like this. I'm glad that I didn't marry you. Since you think that I want something from you, then let's end it. I won't paint for you. Stephen turned around. Mo Shui held his hand. Stephen didn't look at her. I'm in a bad mood, so I'm talking nonsense. My daughter was almost kidnapped and my servant was killed. Please understand me, Mo Shui said apologetically. Mo Shui. Stephen called her. He looked at her from the corner of his eyes. I've finished painting for you. Consider it a full stop between us. Don't look for me in the future. Mo Shui pursed her lips and looked at him. Have you ever liked me? I like your straightforwardness. I like your honesty. I also like that you're never pretentious. When I was young and frivolous, I would experiment. Now that I'm older, I know what's suitable for me. You're not, Stephen said in a low voice. Then you don't have to paint for me. I don't care, Mo Shui said angrily as she let go of Stephen's hand. Stephen walked towards the front. Emo Shui stomped her feet. Come back. Stephen didn't turn around. He disappeared into the shade. Wu Nian raised her eyebrows. Emo Shui used her unreasonable behavior to push the man away. Her and Gu Lingqing? She looked at Gu Lingqing subconsciously. Gu Lingqing was also looking at her. Wu Nian's heart trembled. She lowered her head guiltily. Hey that. Miss Wu, right? I agree to your conditions. When do you want to sign the contract? Emo Shui said angrily. My company will send someone over to sign the contract. When do you have time? Wu Nian said politely. Emo Shui paused. She looked in the direction where Stephen disappeared and said, tomorrow. Wu Nian called Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang was in a good mood. He told Shen Yiyan that Shen Yiyan would send someone over to sign the contract. On the way back, Emo Shui sent a car for her and Gu Lingqing. Wu Nian looked out of the window. She didn't talk to Gu Lingqing the whole time. The driver sent her to the hotel. Gu Lingqing also got out of the car. Wu Nian got into the elevator. He followed her into the elevator. When she came out of the elevator, Gu Lingqing also came out of the elevator. Wu Nian stopped. She thought about it. Maybe Gu Lingqing also booked a room on this floor. It was on the way to her. He didn't follow her on purpose. She continued to walk. She opened the door. When she turned around, Gu Lingqing was still standing behind her. Before she said anything, he pushed the door open and sat on the sofa. Wu Nian. Gu Lingqing looked at Wu Nian, who was standing at the door, and asked, Are you still angry? No. Wu Nian regretted it the moment she said it. She should have been unreasonable. Gu Lingqing's eyes softened a little. Come here. The correct way to open the door should be, why should I go there? But before she said it, she had already walked over and sat down opposite him. Gu Lingqing stood up and put his hands on both sides of her body. Go to France with me tomorrow. Chapter 394. Wu Nian looked into his eyes that were as vast as the stars and felt as though he was being sucked in. She rejected it rationally, but her heart was moving in the opposite direction. She had always wanted to travel with him, but she didn't have the chance. Could she go this time? His words of I don't know you, and there's no one who knows me, hit the spot that moved her the most. If you go, how long will you be gone? Wu Nian asked. Gu Lingqing smiled. I'll listen to you. If you want to spend more time, I'll accompany you for a few more days. If you want to come back, I'll come back with you. His words resolved her worries once again. Okay, then let's not meet tonight to avoid suspicion. I'll see you in Paris, Wu Nian replied. Gu Lingqing lowered his head and kissed her lips deeply. There was no hidden joy in his eyes. He said softly, I'll see you in Paris. Gu Lingqing went out. She checked out of the room and went back to pack her luggage. Since the cooperation was successful, Lu Shuang's trip was imminent. She needed to have a good talk with Alan. Wu Nian booked a flight ticket to London that night on her way back. She didn't tell Gu Lingqing. She arrived at the waiting room at 9 o'clock in the evening. She calculated the time. Country X was 7 hours ahead of England. It was 9 o'clock in the evening here, so it should be 2 o'clock in the afternoon in London. Wu Nian called Alan. Alan answered and smiled. Have you had dinner? Yes, I booked a flight to London. I'll arrive in London tomorrow morning, Wu Nian said straightforwardly. Really? Really? Alan was excited. I have something to talk to you about, Wu Nian said apologetically. Alan's eyes darkened, but he still replied politely. Okay, your flight is at 9:50 p.m. in Country X? Yes. Call me when you arrive. I'll pick you up at the airport, Alan said like a gentleman. Okay. Wu Nian hung up the phone and went to the pantry to drink some water. He took a disposable cup and poured half a cup of cold water into it before mixing it with some hot water. I saw you from afar. I thought I was mistaken. Why? Are you going to London? Su Jiaran's voice rang out. Wu Nian looked back at him calmly and nodded. Mr. Su, are you going back to China? Su Jiaran had a strange look on his face. Do you want to hear my story? Wu Nian chuckled and glanced at the time. My plane leaves at 9:50, so I should be boarding 20 minutes earlier. You have half an hour to talk. Su Jiaran also smiled, but there was a hint of bitterness in his smile. You are indeed not her. She is sharper than you, and she won't give me a chance to speak for half an hour. You mean, Baiya? Wu Nian asked. Su Jiaran nodded. She is my wife. Wu Nian raised the corner of his mouth. Gu Lingqing also said that she is his wife. She married me first, and then they divorced, so she married Gu Lingqing. However, they also divorced, so she is now free, Su Jiaran explained. It sounds like an interesting and complicated story, but Wu Nian paused. With all due respect, you are not as infatuated as Gu Lingqing. At least he was happy for the rest of his life. Your private life is a bit hard to accept. If she comes back, I will definitely not be like this. Su Jiaran smiled bitterly. I also feel dirty. A man's loyalty is not when he is affectionate and loving. However, when he is alone in an empty room, obviously you can't do it, Mr. Su. Many men also go out to find other women after their women are pregnant. For them, the fault is that the woman cannot satisfy them. Do you think it is really the woman who is wrong? Is it really the women who are wrong? Wu Nian said with a smile. Su Jiaran's eyes dimmed. So I am destined not to get the woman I love, right? What is love? I don't think Mr. Su understands it. I think you don't love Baiya. If you love her from the bottom of your heart, even if another woman stands in front of you naked, you will restrain yourself if you think that once you have a relationship with another woman, you will let Baiya down. But obviously Mr. Su doesn't, Wu Nian said indifferently. I just want to use this method to temporarily numb myself, forget her, and find other substitutes, but I can't forget her. You can't forget her, not because of love, but because of other factors. For example, you can't get her, you are hurt, and you are unwilling. What makes people remember for a lifetime is not love. Love is forgetful, and it is something that will become thinner and thinner as time goes on. The longer we spend with our so-called lover, the more we forget how to love each other. On the contrary, unwillingness and hurt will be remembered for a lifetime, because every day, you will wake up because of unwillingness, and you will repeat the process of unwillingness every day. Therefore, unwillingness is something that will be remembered deeply, Wu Nian explained. Then how can I forget unwillingness? I live in pain every day, or it is more appropriate to describe it with the words living is worse than dying, Su Jiaran said sadly. Wu Nian smiled. Use other more meaningful things to transform it, such as the dream you had when you were young, or a greater career, or to feel the kindness of the people around you, or perhaps find a suitable woman to fall in love with. It is difficult to let go, and when the day comes, you will be able to let go. If you do, you will be able to reap happiness. Why make things difficult for yourself? Then can I chase you? I promise, those ridiculous things in the past will not happen again, and I will start from a good start, Su Jiaran said, seemingly sincere. No. Wu Nian directly refused, because I have a boyfriend. I am sorry, you should find a girl who does not have a boyfriend. A wrong start is the source of pain. You said that Alan will not marry you, I promise, Su Jiaran said with certainty. Whether you marry me or not, it has nothing to do with Mr. Su. Wu Nian took a sip of water. Su Jiaran looked at her and did not leave. In the end, did Mo Shui cooperate with you, or with Gu Lingqing? I saw that he also went to Mo Shui's manor this morning. I think you should know who the boss behind me is, right? Although Gu Lingqing's family is prominent, luxury accessories are not his strong point. Mo Shui is not stupid, he should know who to cooperate with, Wu Nian said implicitly. Even if she did not say who Mo Shui cooperated with, Su Jiaran would soon know. She did not need to hide it. You are such an excellent employee. I don't know what condition I have to recruit you, Su Jiaran said with a smile. He put on what he thought was the best, most sincere, and most charming smile. Wu Nian admitted that Su Jiaran had a good appearance. I helped Shenian because Lu Shuang is my friend. In fact, I am not his employee, I am a teacher. Chapter 395. Wu Nian recalled the time when he first met Su Jiaran. He knew that she majored in medicine. She said that he knew all the directors of the hospitals in City A and could arrange jobs for her. Wu Nian laughed. You seem to have forgotten Shen Yi's status. It's easy for me to find a job, but I want to rely on myself. You don't have to worry about me. So, you're not going to give me any chance? Su Jiaran said disappointedly. Giving you a chance will only make you pay. The more you pay, the more unwilling you will be. Knowing that it is impossible, it is better to nip it in the bud. Before the plane takes off, I want to go to the bathroom. Is there anything else, Mr. Su? Wu Nian asked politely. Can I see you again in the future? Su Jiaran asked. Since it's impossible, there's no need to waste time. The next time we meet, if it's not necessary, we'll just treat each other as strangers. Wu Nian didn't give him any chance at all. Su Jiaran's possessiveness was too terrifying. If he couldn't have it, he would destroy it. She had provoked him once, and she would never provoke him again. She walked to the washroom. Worried that Su Jiaran was waiting outside, she purposely stayed in the washroom for more than 10 minutes. When she came out of the bathroom, the passengers on her flight were already lining up. Wu Nian lowered his head and walked to the back of the line. He took out his phone and played with my Hank the dog. The dog had slept for a long time. It needed to go to the toilet and eat, and its body was dirty. Wu Nian helped the dog to use the toilet, take a bath, and eat a meal. She had leveled up to 48. After playing monkey catcher for a while, they boarded the plane. Su Jiaran did not come to disturb them. Wu Nian heaved a sigh of relief and boarded the plane. She laid down in her seat and closed her eyes to take a nap. Can I exchange seats with you? I'm in the first-class cabin up front. When Wu Nian heard Su Jiaran's voice, he opened his eyes in surprise and looked at him. The others would definitely be more than happy to go to the first-class seats. Su Jiaran sat down beside Wu Nian with a devilish smile. I have a client in London. I'm going there too. Wu Nian. Su Jiaran's way of wooing women was really fierce. If she didn't know him so well, a normal girl would probably fall for such a handsome, rich, and extravagant man, just like her in the past. She did not expose him, nor did she reply. She closed her eyes and pretended to sleep. Su Jiaran also lay down and looked at her. Wu Nian turned around so that his back was facing him. Beauty, bring me 2 blankets, Su Jiaran said to the stewardess. The stewardess brought 2 new blankets with a smile. Su Jiaran unwrapped them and covered Wu Nian. Wu Nian did not move. He continued to close his eyes and pretended to sleep. After a long time, he finally fell asleep. She was awakened by the broadcast. They were almost in London. Wu Nian looked at the time. It was 5:45 in the morning. When he opened the curtains, the sun was not out yet. At this time, you should be able to see the sunrise on the plane. The moment when the sun breaks through the clouds is very beautiful. Su Jiaran said with a smile. Wu Nian replied. I'm going to the washroom. Su Jiaran let her pass. Wu Nian went to the washroom to wash up. Because there were many people waiting in line, she did not stay long and returned to her seat. Alan is coming to pick you up? Su Jiaran asked. Wu Nian took out her makeup from her bag, put on some honey lotion and lipstick. Su Jiaran kept looking at her. How long have you been dating Alan? Wu Nian looked at him. Not long. Why? If only I knew you before Alan. Su Jiaran said regretfully. Wu Nian smiled. Actually, even if you knew me before Alan, it would not change the situation. To be honest, Mr. Su is not my type. What type do you like? An English gentleman like Alan? Su Jiaran asked curiously. Loyalty, Wu Nian said concisely. Su Jiaran smiled bitterly. If I told you that I stayed chaste for my wife for 3 years, and was even willing to become a eunuch for her, would you believe me? I would, but aren't you ready to pursue me now? Didn't you ask me to let it go? Su Jiaran asked. Wu Nian smiled. Her smile was bright and beautiful, like a flower blooming. The sun had also broken through the clouds, and sunlight shone through the window onto her face. So, people stand from different perspectives, and the direction in which they consider the problem is also different. In the end, everyone feels that they are reasonable, and resent each other for not understanding. In fact, it can only prove one thing. These two people have different views on life and values, and they cannot live together. Then I'll change, right? What do you want me to do? Su Jiaran was a little annoyed. The plane was already descending, and the radio was saying that the plane was about to arrive in Paris. The passengers were asked to stay in their seats and not move. Wu Nian looked at Su Jiaran. There are a few key elements to a happy marriage. First, the two of you must share the same values. Second, you must share the same values. Third, you must be loyal. For example, if a girl passed by a beggar every day, she would give the beggar 10 yuan. Do you think this is the right thing to do or the wrong thing? That depends on the relationship between the beggar and the girl. It also depends on the girl's experience and strength. Or, did anything special happen in her life recently? You can't generalize whether it's right or wrong. Su Jiaran said in a dialectical way. Wu Nian smiled. For me, whether the girl is right or wrong has nothing to do with me. I don't care. After all, it's someone else's business. There's no need to make irresponsible remarks. Su Jiaran was speechless. Let's talk about values. In order to pursue a girl, you spend a lot of money. A first-class seat from country X to London costs about $3,500, right? Wu Nian asked. Su Jiaran didn't say anything. It doesn't matter if you're not my husband. But if you're my husband and do this kind of thing, you won't be able to live a good life. That also depends on the person's financial strength. $3,500 is about the same as 1 cent to me. Su Jiaran said unhappily. So our values are not the same. I'm not a romantic person. What I want is to live a down-to-earth life. Well, Mr. Su, I think I've said enough. I wish you a pleasant journey. Wu Nian smiled. The plane arrived at the airport. She wanted to get out first. Su Jiaran stopped her and didn't let her out. He looked at her deeply. Didn't I say it? I'll change your request. You can just take care of the money in the future. I don't like to take care of other people's money. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Wu Nian said coldly. Su Jiaran furrowed his brows and opened up a path. Wu Nian got off the plane and turned on her phone. Her phone was full of messages. Most of them were from Gu Lingqing. Wu Nian took a deep breath and called Gu Lingqing first. Chapter 396. Wu Nian's eyes widened. Remembering that Su Jiaran was still behind them, she wanted to pull Gu Lingqing away before she could explain in detail. Gu Lingqing's face was cold, and she flung her hand away. Wu Nian was stunned. She knew that Gu Lingqing was angry, so she walked forward with her head down. Gu Lingqing gritted his teeth, held her arm, turned around, and walked to the other side. There were 2 guards stationed at the exit on the other side. Gu Lingqing handed the ID to the guard, and the guard scanned it before letting them in. After they got out of the exit, Gu Lingqing did not say anything and continued to pull her forward. Wu Nian saw that there was almost no one here, so he roughly guessed that this was the private jet channel. He pulled her into the lounge, let go of her hand, and looked at her coldly. He said in a low voice, "Tell me, the reason why you came to London." Wu Nian looked at Gu Lingqing deeply. It was best for a person not to lie. Otherwise, they needed to use more lies to maintain the lie. If they lied too much, it was easy for them to not be able to turn back. And a lie was not the truth. If they were not careful, logical errors would occur. Alan and I had a beginning. Since it's going to end, I think it's better to say it face to face, Wu Nian said in a low voice. Gu Lingqing's fierce expression softened a little. Since it's a breakup, you can tell me. Do you know how worried I was about you? Breaking up with Alan is my business. I said yesterday that we should not contact each other anymore. We will contact each other when we arrive in Paris. Wu Nian explained. So it's my fault? Gu Lingqing asked in return, looking at her with burning eyes. Wu Nian took a step forward and hugged Gu Lingqing's waist. She leaned her face against his chest and felt his warm body temperature. She said softly, "I'm very surprised that you came to London. I thought that you really like me, so I rushed over. But Gu Lingqing, I need some space." The feeling of restraint. Gu Lingqing lowered his head and looked at her. "I'm not trying to restrict you. I just want to know what you're thinking. Wu Nian looked up at him. His eyes were red. She guessed that he hadn't slept the entire night, and he hadn't slept much last night either. Her heart ached for him. Didn't I break up with Alan? I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to worry, and I was even more afraid that you wouldn't allow it. That would put me in a difficult position. You came here to break up. How could I not allow it? You can't do this in the future. Although I have a bad temper, I'm not an unreasonable person. You. Gu Lingqing paused. You'll find out in the future. Then I will try my best to find out. One more thing, Su Jiaran has also come to London. Don't let him see you. A hint of suspicion flashed across Gu Lingqing's eyes. He's also in London? If I remember correctly, he should be returning to China. We met on the same plane. Gu Lingqing understood. He's courting you. I won't like him, and I've made it very clear to him. It's just that. I don't want him to know about our relationship. Wu Nian looked down. Are you afraid that he'll cause trouble? Or are you afraid that he'll hurt me? Gu Lingqing asked tentatively. Gu Lingqing, I have my reasons that I don't want others to know, but I don't want to tell you now. Maybe I'll be willing to tell you everything one day, but not now. So don't test me, okay? Wu Nian pleaded gently. Gu Lingqing thought for 15 seconds and nodded. Okay, how long do you need to stay in London? I should be going to France tomorrow. If I meet Su Jiaran at the airport tomorrow, he'll probably go to France with you again. I'll stay here and take my private jet tomorrow. It's safe, and I don't have to worry about anything. Gu Lingqing said domineeringly. Wu Nian thought for a moment. Okay, then I won't contact you today. I'll contact you tomorrow. Gu Lingqing frowned. Do you need that long to break up? You didn't sleep well last night, so rest well today, Wu Nian explained. Do you think I can rest well if I don't hear from you? Gu Lingqing asked in return. Then I'll call you at noon. Wu Nian corrected herself. Gu Lingqing's expression softened a little. Okay. Then I'll go out first, Wu Nian said softly. Although Gu Lingqing was reluctant, she still let her go. Wu Nian walked out of the lounge. The people on her plane had all left, and the corridor was much emptier than before. Almost everyone was gathered at the luggage check-in area. The luggage was not out yet. She walked over and saw Su Jiaran standing at the furthest place from him, looking at the luggage exit. She thought for a moment and called Alan. Alan picked up the call. I heard the announcement. You've arrived. Are you getting your luggage? Alan asked with a smile. Yes. I'm still waiting. I'll come over now, Alan said and hung up the phone. Wu Nian looked behind her but did not see Alan. After a while, the luggage came out of the conveyor belt. Wu Nian saw her luggage and was about to walk over. She felt someone hugging her waist. Xiao Nian. Alan called her, lowered his head and kissed her on the cheek. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat and she looked at Alan. Alan smiled brightly. I missed you so much. Wu Nian was silent for a moment. My luggage is out. I'll help you. Which one? Alan asked and held Wu Nian's hand. Because Su Jiaran was there, Wu Nian did not shake him off. She pointed at the sky-blue leather suitcase. Alan let go of Wu Nian's hand and went forward to take the suitcase down. My car is outside. Follow me. Wu Nian followed behind Alan. She did not look back at Su Jiaran. She took a deep breath and looked at Alan's side profile. Her eyes were dark. Alan took her out of the airport. He drove a Lamborghini. I've booked a hotel for you. Go back to the hotel and rest first. Let's have lunch together. My grandmother wants to see you, Alan said with a smile. Wu Nian did not have the heart to break up now. However, although some words were cruel, they had to be said. Alan, I have something to tell you, Wu Nian said. Huh. Alan looked at Wu Nian's face and smiled. Get in the car first. He opened the car door in a gentlemanly manner. Wu Nian sat in the car while Alan drove. Wu Nian did not say anything. It was not a good time to talk while driving. He stopped in front of the Histon Hotel. He unbuckled his seatbelt and was about to open the car door when Wu Nian held his arm. Alan glanced at Wu Nian's hand and looked up in the direction of her arm. Alan, can I trust you? Wu Nian asked. Of course, Alan said without thinking. He turned around and faced Wu Nian, waiting for her to speak. Chapter 397. So you came here today to destroy my last chance? Alan's face darkened. There's one more thing. I need your help with Lu Shuang. What are your conditions? Tell me. Wu Nian raised her chin and said. What if I ask you to stay by my side for a year? Alan asked. Wu Nian was silent for a while. Alan chuckled. Forcing my goddess to do something she doesn't want to do is not something I want to see. Don't worry, I will help you. I don't need any conditions. I just hope that we can still be friends when we meet again. I still remember that you said that you would cook for me. Wu Nian looked at him gratefully. Alan ruffled her hair. Actually, I've thought about it a lot these few days. I know that when you said you wanted to date me, it wasn't because you liked me. You had too many considerations and scruples. Perhaps you were using me, but you did attract me. I want to get rid of some people, so it's better to find a boyfriend. That's why I chose you, Wu Nian explained. You are so beautiful, strong, brave, kind, loyal, smart and beautiful. But I only have a gorgeous appearance and a flashy background. My health is not good, Alan said sadly. I've slit my wrists, been poisoned, jumped into the sea, had plastic surgery, married twice, changed my name and started a new life. I'm not as perfect as you think I am. Even if it was my own father, I never thought of forgiving him. Alan, I thank you for what you did for Lu Shuang. If one day you are in trouble, I will do my best, Wu Nian promised. You've already treated me as a friend by telling me this. I won't betray your trust. All these secrets of yours will never leak out from me. If you're in trouble, I'll do my best. Alan promised with a smile. Wu Nian leaned forward and hugged Alan. Thank you and I'm sorry. I've said it before. You don't have to apologize to me. I'm willing to do it, Alan said in a low voice. Wu Nian let go of Alan. Thousands of words were left unsaid. She thanked him for his help, for his dedication, and for not asking for anything in return. Then I'll get off, Wu Nian said. Let me know one day in advance when your friend is coming to England, Alan said with a sad look in his eyes. Yes. Alan smirked. You're in room 1809. I've already booked you. Although we can't be lovers, we can still be friends. Let me be your host, okay? All right. I'll go upstairs to put my luggage down. Wu Nian pushed the door open and came down. Alan also got out of the car and helped her with her luggage. When are you leaving? Tomorrow. Just one day. Alan was a little disappointed. There are many famous attractions in London. You might not be able to see them all in one day. Where do you want to go the most? Is there anything you want to recommend? If you're not tired, put your luggage down. I'll take you somewhere. Alan smiled. Wu Nian nodded. Okay. Alan drove for 2.5 hours and arrived at a church. This church is modeled after St. Paul's Cathedral. Behind the church is a miniature version of Buckingham Palace. You can eat, race and play golf here, Alan said. Wu Nian got out of the car and looked around. It's a very unique English church, but there aren't many visitors. This is my grandmother's place. It's not open to the public. Huh? Your grandmother? Wu Nian had a strange feeling. With her current relationship with Alan, it wasn't appropriate for her to meet Alan's elders. Alan could tell that Wu Nian was worried. Don't worry. My grandmother really wants to see you, but she respects me very much. I'll tell her about our relationship. Also, my grandmother has a very good friend who's from country A. She'll be very happy to see you from country A. But I didn't bring a gift. Wu Nian wasn't used to meeting elders empty-handed. You're the best gift. You just need to chat with my grandmother, Alan said. If she went, it would be unreasonable for her to leave. Alan brought her past the church to the miniature version of Buckingham Palace. As they walked into the magnificent hall, she saw an old grandmother making tea. Grandmother, this is Wu Nian. She's my friend from country A, Alan introduced with a smile. You're from country A? Alan's grandmother smiled and looked at Wu Nian. She said lovingly, Good, very good. Xiao Tang is also from country A. Hello, grandmother, Wu Nian greeted respectfully. Come here. Alan waved at Wu Nian and ordered the servant. Bring me the photo. Wu Nian looked at Alan awkwardly and walked to her grandmother. Her grandmother looked at Wu Nian with a smile. Alan mentioned you to me. He wants to break off the engagement and marry you. I think you're a good person. I've decided to break off the engagement. Well, Wu Nian looked at Alan again. Grandmother, Xiao Nian and I are just friends. However, we still have to break off the engagement, Alan explained. What? Didn't you say that you like her and want to marry her last time? Don't bully me because I'm old. I still remember, her grandmother said anxiously. I thought too much last time. Xiao Nian and I promised to be friends. All right, grandmother, Xiao Nian is a guest. Alan changed the topic. Her grandmother understood. She sighed and smiled at Wu Nian with pity. The servant brought the photo album. Her grandmother opened it with nostalgia and pointed at a photo of a woman wearing a cheongsam. This is Xiao Tang. Wu Nian was shocked. Your woman looks exactly like her mother. Xiao Tang was a pitiful person. She came to America with her husband and left her parents to take care of her. Her parents were on their way to find her when there was an earthquake. They all died, her grandmother explained. They all died. Wu Nian was a little dazed. Does she have any relatives alive? Her grandmother shook her head. She didn't know how to give birth. Her husband married another wife and gave her husband a son and a daughter. However, it has nothing to do with Xiao Tang. Xiao Tang was depressed and passed away when she was in her 40s. She was my best friend. Wu Nian looked down. Her mother was an orphan. She looked too much like the woman in the photo. She might have survived. However, Xiao Tang was dead, and her mother had gone crazy. It seemed like there was no need to keep in touch. Xingbachuan had abandoned Bai Bing because she was an orphan and didn't have a prominent family background. If Bai Bing hadn't been separated from her parents, she would have been a socialite. She wouldn't have been abandoned and wouldn't have gone crazy. Unfortunately, there were no ifs in the world. Chapter 398. During the day, Gu Lingqing didn't call her. After returning to the hotel arranged by Alan in the evening, she called Gu Lingqing. Hello. Wu Nian spoke first. Gu Lingqing responded with a deep voice. My problem is solved. Wu Nian said. Gu Lingqing only responded with a sound indifferently. Then good night. See you in Paris tomorrow. Gu Lingqing hung up the phone on the other end. Wu Nian had a strange feeling in her heart. It was as heavy as a stone pressing on her heart. She wanted to call Gu Lingqing again, but she didn't know what to say. She wasn't someone who was good at talking. She put her phone on the bedside table and went to the bathroom to take a shower. She thought of an article that she had read before and felt that it was very useful. The general content of the article was, a man worked for 3 years and wanted to go home. His boss gave him 3 pieces of advice. The first was, don't try to find impossible shortcuts. There are no shortcuts in this world. The second was, don't be overly curious about things that you know are not good. You may lose everything because of it. The third was, don't make any decisions when you are impulsive. It may make you regret it for the rest of your life. When the man went home, he didn't take a shortcut. Instead, he chose the main road with many people. He stayed in a hotel. When he heard a woman crying and screaming, he didn't come out. The person who came out was killed by the crazy woman. When he got home, he heard other men's voices. He didn't kill his wife impulsively. He found out that the man was a child. Wu Nian turned off the shower. So she shouldn't call Gu Lingqing. Even if he seemed unhappy now, the most he could do was break up according to her original plan. She should calm down and live every day in a down-to-earth manner. That way, everyone would be safe. She took a shower and turned off her phone. She lay on the bed and didn't think about anything. Sleep. She didn't know how long it had been before the doorbell woke her up. Wu Nian turned on the bedside lamp. She stepped on the disposable hotel slippers and got out of bed. She looked through the peephole. It was Gu Lingqing. She opened the door in surprise. Why are you here? When Gu Lingqing entered, she smelled a strong smell of alcohol. Just as she closed the door, he pushed her against the wall and kissed her forcefully. Wu Nian pushed him. He held her waist so tightly that she couldn't breathe. He was too strong and domineering. She couldn't even resist. Half an hour later, she finally calmed down. Gu Lingqing carried her to the bathroom, brushed her teeth, washed her face, and didn't say a word. He didn't say a word. He was drunk today, so he probably wouldn't listen even if she tried to reason with him. But that wasn't good. After washing up, he took a towel to wipe her face. Nian. Gu 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 woo. And an woo 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 a sharp light flashed in Gu Lingqing's eyes as he turned around and left. Didn't Gu Gu didn't want to Gu Gu. Ling Gu 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 she didn't want to talk to him. She lay in the bathtub. He was still there. Just as she was about to fall asleep in a daze, she felt the bed beside her sink in. A hand held her waist. Wu Nian turned around and met his deep eyes. There was a sour feeling in her heart. Don't you think you're too overbearing? Don't you think you're too domineering? Wu Nian looked at him. Wu Nian turned around and faced him. What are you thinking? I feel like you're unhappy every day. I'm not a parasite in your stomach. Go to sleep. It's late. Gu Lingqing turned off the lights. The room was dark. Go to sleep, it's getting late. Gu Lingqing directly turned off the light, and the room fell into darkness. Go to sleep. It's late. Gu Lingqing turned off the lights. The room was dark. Wu Nian looked at him again. What's wrong? Wu Nian looked at him again. What's the matter? I'm thinking, how much longer are you going to hide it from me? Or have you already guessed that I know who you are? Gu Lingqing said. I'm wondering if you're still her. Or, you're not her anymore. Gu Lingqing stood up. I'm wondering if you're still her. Or you're not her anymore. Gu Lingqing stood up from the bed. His face was serious. Wu Nian's face turned pale. She understood what he meant. You think I'm Baiya? Even though you knew I was waiting for you, you pretended you weren't. Even though you knew I didn't like you and Alan together, you stayed until dark. Even if I wanted to have sex with you, you resisted. From the beginning to the end, I was the one who forced you. I kept you in my mind, but you wanted me to let you go. 3 years, 2 years. It's been 8 years. Our child is already 7 years old. I thought that if I continued, I would make you suffer. I can't see the future and happiness. So, Baiya, I should give up on you. Wu Nian looked at Gu Lingqing. Also, don't look for little Yin anymore. Right now, little Yin only thinks that his mother is dead. If one day, he finds out that his mother is still alive and by his side, but she doesn't recognize him and isn't with his father, he will hate you. Moreover, I will get married again. Your existence will make it difficult for Xiao Yan to get along with his new mother. Don't worry, Xiao Yan is my child. I will take good care of him and train him. Although I'm strict sometimes, I believe my future wife will treat him like her own child. I will look for a partner who can take care of my child. Gu Lingqing said coldly. Wu Nian didn't say anything. She lowered her eyes and tears fell quietly. Gu Lingqing sneered. Even though he said so, she didn't express her desire to be with him. There's no need to say goodbye. Gu Lingqing turned around, opened the door and went out. He closed the door for her. This was the result she wanted. She wanted to push the man she loved out of her world, and live alone from then on. But what was the point of her living? Perhaps she shouldn't have lived at all. Wu Nian didn't fall asleep again. She sat on the bed in a daze. Her eyes were red from crying, and she made a decision. In the morning, she bought a plane ticket back to Aland. When she went to the sanatorium to see Bai Bing, she received news that Bai Bing had committed suicide. Wu Nian was shocked. He ran to ask the doctor. Why did Bai Bing commit suicide? She was fine before. I don't know. Sorry, she suddenly hit her head against the wall. We went in immediately, but she was already dead. Are you her family? The doctor asked. Where is she buried now? Wu Nian asked. Because she doesn't have a family, we will deal with it as if she had no family. Please follow me, the doctor said and brought Wu Nian to the cemetery behind the sanatorium. Bai Bing had been buried. The grave was new. The name carved on the tombstone was Bai Bing's grave. Daughter Baiya. Baiya knelt in front of the grave. Chapter 399. After paying respects to her mother, Baiya called Lu Shuang. Xiaonian, I have good news for you. Shiniyan has signed the contract with Mo Shui. He promised me that I can travel for a month with Xiao Bao. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha, my good days are coming. Lu Shuang said happily as soon as he answered the phone. Yes, I am happy for you too. Live for yourself. Live a wonderful and open life. Although it will be ordinary, you will be far away from danger. You will be happy because that is what you want. Wu Nian said with a smile. Yes, I have to leave Sheniyan first. He has a wife and he is the president. Once I am exposed, I will be a sinner. Maybe I will be written into history as a temptress who brings disaster to the country and people. Then I will be unlucky and will be infamous for thousands of years. Ha 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 ha. Yes, when are you going to leave? Wu Nian asked in a deep voice. I still have one thing to deal with. I am not worried about you now. You have Alan and Alan will protect you. I am worried about my parents. I have to let them retire first, and then I will find a friend who can help them change their identity. Will my parents agree? Lu Shuang was worried. Then be honest with them. Then be honest with them and tell them about your situation. You're their only son. Although you're no longer related to them, your parents don't have children yet. They still treat you as their only daughter, Wang Yao said. I had a bad relationship with them. Xiaonian, can you help me to find out what they want to say? Lu Shuang asked. Yes, I will ask them out tonight. Tonight? Lu Shuang scratched his head. Should we meet first to discuss what to say? No, I know what you think. I will talk to your parents and contact them at night. Wu Nian hung up the phone. She had a phone call from Lu Shuang's father. Who is it? The old voice of Lu Shuang's father sounded. Wu Nian felt a little sad. This old dean, under the attack of time, was also on the verge of death. Hello, I'm Lu Shuang's friend. I have something to discuss with you. Are you free tonight? Wu Nian said politely. I don't have such a daughter. Lu Shuang's father hung up the phone. Wu Nian sighed and continued to call Lu Shuang's mother. Hey. Hello, I'm Lu Shuang's friend. I have something to discuss with you. Do you have time tonight? It's very important, Wu Nian said softly. Shuang's friend? Mrs. Lu hesitated. Back then, she left you because she had her own difficulties. She was forced to give birth to that child because she wanted to protect it. Little Shuang, is she doing well now? How can a mother and daughter hate each other overnight? Even if she gave birth before marriage, we will only contact her. How can we not forgive her? Why do we have to break off our relationship? Mrs. Lu's voice was choked with sobs. That's because she wants to protect you. Can we meet tonight? It's better to be more secretive, Wu Nian suggested. Little Shuang's father is more stubborn. I have to slowly persuade him. Come to Iran's spa and enter a private room. My friend opened that room. I can get the key to the small door and come in directly. Okay, I'll go to Iran now. See you later. Wu Nian hung up the phone and went directly to Iran's spa. The streets of City A changed every year, and now they were beyond recognition. When she was a child, her wish was to make a house. She wanted to stay in the place she wanted to stay forever. Nowadays, houses were often demolished, and they were as fragile as human lives. While her thoughts were running wild, she arrived at Iran's spa and followed the receptionist into private room 203. I want a rose aromatic bath, but not now. I'll wait for someone first. Is that okay? Yes, then you can rest first. When you need it, just press the server on the table. The receptionist said with a smile and handed her a cup of lemon tea. Thank you. Can I trouble you to leave for a while? It won't take too long. Okay. The receptionist gave Wu Nian a strange look and went out of the room. Wu Nian texted Lu Shuang's mother. I'm in private room 203. She had just sat down on the sofa when Lu Shuang's mother came in from the small door and locked the door. She asked anxiously, What's wrong with little Shuang? She hasn't come home, and she doesn't even call. She doesn't come home on New Year's Day, and her father is so angry that he's sick. I'm sorry, Lu Shuang has her own difficulties. She provoked someone she shouldn't have provoked, and was forced to have sex with him. The other party also didn't allow her to abort the child. Otherwise, the people she cares about will be in danger, especially you. She was worried that she would drag you down, so she broke off the relationship with you and hoped that you wouldn't be involved. Now Lu Shuang has a chance to leave that man, but she wants to leave this country and live an incognito life. She's worried that after she leaves, that man will deal with you, Wu Nian explained. Lu Shuang's mother frowned and asked several questions in a row. Who did little Shuang offend? She's too straightforward, but she's not a bad person. I've always told her to be careful with her words and actions. What should she do now? Where is she going? Will she never come back? Then what about me and her father? Now, her father misses her so much that he's sick. I can't tell you who she offended for now, but that man is powerful. One word from him, and the whole country will tremble. His power is beyond your imagination. Is it Shen Yan, the current president? Lu Shuang's mother asked suspiciously. Wu Nian paused. She didn't expect Lu Shuang's mother to be right. Lu Shuang's mother could tell from Wu Nian's eyes that she was right. I knew it. He always provoked little Shuang when he was young. I also said that this person actually became the president. I didn't expect that he would treat little Shuang like this. He's already married. Little Shuang hates mistresses the most and hates being tied down the most. She must be very sad now, Mother Lu said. Lu Shuang's mother's eyes were red, and she wiped her tears. Fortunately, she has a chance to escape now. She also found a way to help you change your name and live a new life. Although you can't contact your old friends, you're not in danger. I don't know if you're willing. Can't we go with her? Where does she go? Where do we go? We can find new friends, we can find new jobs, and we only have one daughter. We can still take care of her. Lu Shuang's mother said sadly. That's the best. I can arrange it. I don't know what Director Lu thinks. Old Lu actually cares about little Shuang more than I do. He just doesn't understand. Now that he knows all this, he's definitely willing. Lu Shuang's mother said with certainty. If you're willing, give me a call. I'll arrange it. Lu Shuang's mother looked at Wu Nian. Thank you. It's my duty. Wu Nian smiled. Chapter 400. Wu Nian didn't want Lu Shuang to worry too much, so he made a call. What did my parents say? Lu Shuang asked anxiously. Your mother not only agreed to retire, but she also wants to go with you and take care of you. Really? Lu Shuang was excited. Yes, she also wants to persuade your father. Don't worry, your father loves you more than your mother does. He knows you have difficulties, so he will definitely go with you. Also, since your parents have been contacted, for safety's sake, don't meet them. Shen Yan is a cautious person. It's better for us to be careful as well. Yes, it's great that my parents are willing to go with me. I have enough money for us to live for the rest of our lives. Except for not being able to see you, I don't have any regrets. Lu Shuang said with tears in his eyes. All good things must come to an end. It's my luck to be friends with you. You must be happy. Wu Nian smiled. I promise you I will be happy. Lu Shuang promised. Wu Nian was soaking in the rose-scented bath, quietly closing her eyes and enjoying the comfortable massage. Guest. Wu Nian was woken up by the beautician and opened her eyes. You've been soaking for 2 hours. It's not good to stay in the bath for too long, the beautician said gently. Sorry, I fell asleep. Wu Nian stood up. The beautician wrapped a towel around Wu Nian. Maybe because of the long soaking, she was short of oxygen and her legs were weak. She lost her balance and fell into the bathtub again. Wu Nian held her forehead and said apologetically, I'm sorry, I can't seem to do anything well. How much do you need? That's not necessary. If you like, you can apply for a card. If you apply for a card, you can charge 1,000 yuan and get 200 yuan free. You can use the spa, massage, and accommodation. The beautician introduced enthusiastically. Do you have accommodation here? Yes, on the third floor. Standard room with a king-sized bed. They are all 580 yuan. If you want a spa, you can get a 30% discount. We provide door-to-door service. How much will I get if I top up 10,000 yuan? If you charge 1,000, you'll get 200. If you charge 2,000, you'll get 500. If you charge 5,000, you'll get 2,000. If you charge 10,000, you can get 5,000. Do you want to do it now? Okay, help me get one now. Okay. The beautician beamed with joy and took good care of him. After Wu Nian topped up, he directly checked into the guest room. The room looked good. It was a dreamy pink color. The bed and sofa looked relatively new. There was a treadmill in the room. She quite liked it. Lying on the bed, he connected to the Wi-Fi and checked the price of the yacht. The price of the 11-meter-long cruise ship was less than 400,000 yuan. Looking at the photo, it was not bad. The cabin was converted into a room with a bed, a TV, a shower and a bathroom. The stern was converted into a kitchen. Under the pavilion was a dining table. At the bow of the ship, 2 reclining chairs could be placed. The cockpit was above the cabin. The experiment was wide open. However, driving a boat required a driver's license. She then checked where she should go to get her driver's license. The people who sold the cruise would arrange the test. She checked her account again. She had 22 million yuan in savings. It seemed that she could not spend the money. She could buy a big one. She casually browsed through it until it was 3 o'clock in the morning. She turned off the web page and put her phone on the bedside table. Lying on the bed, she still could not fall asleep. This situation was very bad. She seemed to have started to lose sleep again. She got up again and ran on the treadmill for an hour. She was tired and fell asleep. The room was very good. She slept until she woke up naturally. She took out her phone to check the time. She forgot to charge her phone yesterday. The phone turned off automatically when it ran out of battery. She immediately charged her phone. When she went to the bathroom to wash up, she heard a text message notification. Would there be a call from Gu Lingqing? Wu Nian shook her head. Why would Gu Lingqing call her? She was thinking too much. Thinking about it, she found it funny. She had already completely pushed Gu Lingqing out of her world, but she was still looking forward to it. When a person's heart and mind were not in the same position, contradictions and troubles would arise. She should have been more clear-headed, so that she would not cause an irreversible situation. After washing up, she came out of the bathroom and picked up her phone. They were all calls from Lu Shuang and Lu Shuang's mother. She was very sorry that her phone turned off automatically. She did not act as a bridge of communication in time. She called Lu Shuang's mother first. Did something happen to Shuang? Lu Shuang's mother asked anxiously. Sorry, I overslept. Nothing happened to Shuang. Don't worry, Wu Nian said softly. It's good that nothing happened. His father has agreed to go with Shuang. What do you think we should do? We will listen to you. But before we go, can you arrange for us to meet Shuang? Lu Shuang's mother breathed a sigh of relief. Yes, I will call Shuang first. I will get back to you in 10 minutes, Wu Nian said. After hanging up, she called Lu Shuang back. Xiao Nian, where are you? What did my parents say? Lu Shuang was also anxious. He had inherited this temper from his mother. I'm in room 506 of the guest room above the Yiren Spa. I'll be staying here for a while. Your parents have agreed to go with you, but they want to see you. You come to me now, and we'll go to the spa together. There's a little door, and your mom and dad can go. Come here. Okay, I'm coming now. Lu Shuang hung up the phone in a hurry. Wu Nian was coordinating from the inside, allowing Lu Shuang to meet her parents. They were chatting while she stood guard outside. She estimated that she and Lu Shuang would part ways in less than a month. More or less, she felt sad about parting. She didn't want to show it and affect other people's feelings, but she really felt sad. An hour later, Lu Shuang came out of the private room. His eyes were still red. He held Wu Nian's hand and said, Xiaobai, thank you. You don't have to thank me. That's because of your own feelings. Let's go. Let's have dinner together tonight, and then go to the bar. Consider it a farewell before parting. Let's get drunk. Wu Nian said with a smile. Let's go. Let's get drunk. Lu Shuang put his arm around Wu Nian's shoulder. He had solved one of his worries and was happy. They went to the famous Lanting Hotel in City A. The salmon with flowers here is very delicious. The squirrel climbing trees is also delicious. There are also corn pancakes, immortal roast duck, and crab tofu. I ate these last time when Sheniyan brought me here. Lu Shuang ordered the dishes and added freshly squeezed cereal juice. When are you going to travel? Wu Nian asked. My parents' matter has been resolved. I'm going out next Monday. They will sign up for a British tour. I'll tell you the details after I'm done. They can't sign up for a British tour. First, if Sheniyan knows that you're going to Britain, he will definitely guess something. He can easily cancel the tour, and your parents won't be able to go out, Wu Nian reminded. Chapter 401. Your parents have signed up for a tour group around the UK. I'll contact Alan and ask him to pick them up, Wu Nian suggested. You're so smart. I thought too simply. I'll do as you say. Please help me contact my parents. Okay. After dinner, they went to a nearby bar. They drank a lot and were drunk. Then they went to a karaoke bar. Wu Nian ordered a lot of songs. She sang and shouted hysterically. Lu Shuang drank a lot too. He couldn't take it anymore and fell asleep on the sofa. Wu Nian asked for a blanket from the waiter. She draped it over Lu Shuang and continued to sing. Her last song was Goodbye. I'm afraid that I won't have the chance to say goodbye to you, because I might never see you again. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm leaving this familiar place and you. My tears are falling. I'll remember your face. I'll cherish the love you gave me. These days will never be erased from my heart. I can't promise you that I'll come back without looking back. I'll walk on without looking back. She sang to the sad part. She drank a big glass of red wine and lay down on the sofa. She had drunk a lot. She should be drunk. But her mind was abnormally clear. She didn't want to sleep. She picked up her phone and found Gu Lingqing's number. Before she could wrap her mind around it, she pressed the dial button. Gu Lingqing hung up and didn't answer. Wu Nian twitched the corner of her mouth. Tears rolled down from her eyes. She closed her eyes. It was better not to answer. She felt dizzy and wanted to sleep. Then her phone rang. She saw that it was Gu Lingqing's call. She picked it up subconsciously. What is it? Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. He was very quiet. His voice sounded very cold. Wu Nian was silent. Gu Lingqing sneered. I told you not to contact me again. You seem to have forgotten. Baya, what do you want? Sorry, wrong number. Wu Nian hung up the phone. After some thought, he blacklisted Gu Lingqing's number and deleted it. She couldn't call Gu Lingqing anymore. She couldn't. Feeling sad, he poured himself another glass of red wine and drank it all. In the end, he didn't know how he fell asleep. He was woken up by the waiter in the KTV room. Her head was still hurting badly. She was worried that Lu Shuang would talk nonsense, so she brought Lu Shuang to her room and slept until someone knocked on the door. Wu Nian got up and opened the door. Sheniyan stood at the door with a straight face. Her sharp eyes glanced at Wu Nian. Her eyes were as deep and serene as a 10,000-year-old ancient pond. But there were hidden waves surging. She seemed to know something. Wu Nian was trembling with fear. Where is she? Sheniyan asked coldly. She's still sleeping. She went to the KTV and sang very late last night. Wu Nian explained. I'm afraid she didn't just go to the KTV. Sheniyan looked at Wu Nian and said. Wu Nian smiled and lowered his eyes. He didn't reply to Sheniyan. At this time, the more he said, the more wrong he would be. Sheniyan walked into the room. Lu Shuang was sleeping in a mess. One of his legs was outside, and his clothes were brushed over his stomach. One of his hands was pressed behind his head, and the other was lying casually. Sheniyan went over and carried him up. She straightened his clothes. Lu Shuang opened his eyes and saw Sheniyan. My head hurts. I want to sleep. You didn't drink too much last night, and it won't hurt anymore. Are you happy to see your parents? Sheniyan asked. Lu Shuang looked at Wu Nian. You told Sheniyan? Wu Nian was speechless. Lu Shuang was too naive. She managed to trick her. Shuang misses her parents very much. It's not too much to meet them, Wu Nian said for Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang looked at Shen Yan. Of course it's not too much. But there's no need to sneak around. If you want to see them, I can arrange it, Shen Yan said in a low voice. Whoever started the trouble should end it. I'm afraid this matter is not something that you can arrange. Wu Nian was worried that Lu Shuang would make mistakes if he said too much, so he interrupted. Can you solve the problem that I can't solve? Shen Yan said coldly. For example, contact Alan and ask Lu Shuang and her parents to leave? Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. Shen Yan knew their purpose clearly. I don't think I have this ability. Does the president think I do? Wu Nian asked calmly. Shen Yan lowered his head and looked at Lu Shuang in his arms. Don't do something that you'll regret, okay? Shen Yan gave people a dangerous feeling. He was like an awakened beast, as if he would be swallowed by him if he was not careful. What's wrong with you? You're acting weird in the morning. Don't vent your anger on me. I'm not your doormat. Lu Shuang struggled to get off him. He hugged him tighter. It's past noon now. It's a long time since the morning that you mentioned. Besides, I never vent my anger on you. I'll only vent my anger on you. It seems that your subordinates are in trouble every day. You're over 30 this year. You should control your temper. Lu Shuang lectured him. Shen Yan put Lu Shuang down on the bed and looked at Wu Nian. You'd better get out, unless you want to watch the battle. Wu Nian. She blushed and looked at Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang struggled, but couldn't get up. Shen Yan, you're bullying a defenseless woman and a child. What kind of hero are you? Are you a defenseless woman and a child? You don't know how powerful your mouth is. Shen Yan retorted. Wu Nian. She left the room and closed the door for them. According to the usual practice, she wouldn't be able to see Lu Shuang today. Wu Nian walked out of the room and followed the address on the internet to the cruise ship sales office near the sea. The salesman walked up to her enthusiastically. How can I help you? I want to buy a cruise ship about 20 meters long for my own residence. It should have all the facilities. The equipment inside should be more advanced. It's best if it can be piloted as long as the coordinates are set. Wu Nian made her request. We've launched a new model of cruise ship. All the equipment inside is imported. It's exactly what you need. It's 22 meters long and 8 meters wide. It has 3 floors. The salesman took out a brochure. He continued. The ground floor is a warehouse with a fridge for food and sundries. There are 2 rooms of 20 square meters on the first floor. One is a bedroom and the other is a living room. There's also a kitchen that leads to the underground storage room. There's a bar in the kitchen. There's a viewing room and an operating room on the second floor. There's also an open-air viewing platform and fishing platform on the roof. Also, if you buy it now, we'll give you a lifeboat. It's usually placed by the side of the ship. Once you're in danger, you just need to press the emergency button. It can be lowered in a minute and automatically filled with air. Sounds good. How much is it now? Wu Nian was tempted by the picture. Miss Wu, why are you here? A man's voice rang out. Wu Nian turned to look at him. She didn't know him. Chapter 402. Wu Nian replied. Her eyes were covered with a thin veil. I'm here with a friend. I won't disturb you then. Oh, okay. Zhang Xingyu replied. Miss Wu, the original price of this model is 1.08 million, but we're having a promotion now. The price is 980,000, so you can enjoy a discount of 100,000. In addition, we also have exquisite gifts for you, such as a rice cooker, an oven and a lucky draw. You have a chance to win a refrigerator. There are also electric motorcycles and motorboats. The salesperson introduced enthusiastically. Leave your name card with me. I'll tell my friend. If she needs it, she'll contact you later. Wu Nian said with flagging interest. Oh, okay. The salesperson still handed her the name card with enthusiasm. Wu Nian walked out of the sales office. She did not go back. Their place was close to the sea. So she went to the pier. There were many people selling seafood there. There were octopus, swimming crabs, hairfish, shells, prawns, and some sea fishes. The air was filled with the smell of fish. There were many fishermen, but there were not many people buying. Wu Nian wanted to buy swimming crabs. But then she thought about it. There was no kitchen in her hotel, so she gave up. She walked casually by the sea, enjoying the salty sea breeze. She remembered that she and Gu Lingqing were sitting by the sea, enjoying the sea breeze. The fire in the pile of stones was very hot, and the wild boar stewed bamboo shoots in the pot was bubbling. The fire dyed their faces red. There were only the two of them there, but she did not feel lonely. Her heart had never felt so peaceful before. Now, she was alone for the rest of her life. She wandered around the bustling city. Other than feeling more lonely, there was not a day that her heart felt at ease. She did not know where she was going, nor did she know where she could stop. Every day, she lived in loneliness and despair. In front of her, an old lady carrying a bamboo basket fell to the ground. She ran over and wanted to help her up. "Old lady, are you okay?" The old lady sat on the ground and grabbed her hand. She shouted, "Help! Someone hit me." Wu Nian looked at her and asked calmly, "Are you sure you want to do this?" "Miss, this is the blind spot of the camera. I just need to insist that it was you. I don't want much. Give me 200. Otherwise, I'll make things worse." The old lady lowered her voice. The corners of Wu Nian's mouth twitched. Using the kindness of others to extort money. Even if you live comfortably in this life, there will always be retribution on you or your children. "What did you say? Believe it or not, I will tear your mouth apart," the old lady said fiercely. She had learned one thing when she was studying psychology. Because of lack of confidence or extreme fear, people would put on a more ferocious front to hide their inner uneasiness. Or in other words, they wanted to escape from something. The old lady was stunned. She was stunned when she saw the old lady. The old lady was stunned. The old lady was slightly stunned. She took the money and Wu Nian turned to leave. She sat under the shade of the tree for a while, staring at the blue sea in a daze until the sun set. She took the money. Wu Nian turned and left. She sat in the shade for a while, staring at the blue sea until the sun set. She found a seafood buffet. The moment she entered, she saw a girl putting the food on the table. Therefore, some people like to live for others to see and find a sense of existence in the envy and praise of others. She chose a seat and casually ate something. She took out her phone and played Hank the dog for a while to pass the time. Her phone rang. It was Lu Shuang. She picked it up immediately. Lu Shuang did not say anything. Wu Nian had a bad feeling. Lu Shuang was not like this usually. "What's wrong? What happened?" "Shen Yan will accompany me for a week on this trip. He will increase it when he's not around. He should know that I'm leaving. What should I do? The people he sends must be elites," Lu Shuang said worriedly. "Don't worry. There's no such thing as an impenetrable wall. Shen Yan's guards are the same. I have an idea, but it may put Shen Yan in danger. The more dangerous Shen Yan is, the less his people can take care of you, and the more likely you are to escape," Wu Nian said thoughtfully. "Put Shen Yan in danger?" Lu Shuang paused. "Although he always forces me, if I let him die, will it cause turmoil in the country?" "It will only put him in danger. He won't die." "Yes. Okay. I guess we'll go on a trip the day after tomorrow. I hope everything goes well," Lu Shuang prayed. "Should be, but however, I guess Shen Yan will confiscate your phone during the trip." Wu Nian guessed. "Then what should I do? I know of a reagent that is injected into the arm. Ordinary instruments can't detect it. Only professional instruments can monitor and track it. I'll contact them. I should be able to find it. Let's meet tomorrow." "Okay. Have you had dinner?" Lu Shuang asked. "I've eaten. I'm going back." "Where are you now?" "I'm already in the manor. See you tomorrow." Lu Shuang hung up the phone. Wu Nian called back. When she was in the car, she thought for a long time about who she should ask for help. She couldn't ask Gu Lingqing, and Su Jieran didn't want to provoke her anymore. It seemed that only Alan could help her. However, it seemed that she would never be able to pay back what she owed now. Therefore, it was difficult for her to speak. In the midst of conflict, she arrived at Iran Clubhouse unknowingly. She entered the room. The room had been cleaned, and the bedsheets had been changed. It was as if no one had stayed in it. She threw her bag on the sofa and sat on the sofa alone, in a daze for a while. Dignity and shamelessness didn't seem to be important in the life of a friend. She dialed Aaron's number. My grandmother was talking about you just now, and you called. What a coincidence, Alan said with a smile. No matter when she called, he would be clear. Wu Nian felt warm in her heart. There's one thing. When Lu Shuang comes out, there might be guards following him. Moreover, I can't get in touch with him. As long as he comes to England, even if there are a few guards, I'm confident that I can help you save your friend. Don't worry. But I might not be able to contact my friend, so I don't know where they are. Alan chuckled and said confidently, I have England's heavenly eye. No matter where they are or what they are doing, I can find them. Just leave it to me. Don't worry. Hearing Alan's words, she seemed to be relieved. She didn't even have to think about how to transfer the guards. Thank you, Alan. You're welcome. We're friends, hee. We're friends. Wu Nian repeated Alan's words and hung up the phone. Chapter 403. Wu Nian came to the door and looked through the peephole. There were two men in suits. She had a bad feeling and didn't open the door. Miss Wu, we know you are inside. Open the door. Mr. Shen asked us to come. The man outside said. Wu Nian furrowed his brows. Mr. Shen? It was Shen Yan's men outside. She opened the door and asked, Shen Yan, what's the matter? Mr. Shen asked us to pick you up. You'd better ask Mr. Shen in person. Got it. Wu Nian closed the door and followed them. After getting in the car, they confiscated her bag and put a blindfold on her. Wu Nian had expected this result. Shen Yan had never been easy to deal with. He had stepped on many people's bodies to get to where he was now. His ruthlessness was self-evident. She leaned back in the chair calmly. When a person had seen through life and death and had no nostalgia for the world, he could still be calm in the face of great danger. The car drove for more than an hour, and made a turn every 10 seconds. As far as she knew, there was no such road in City A, so she might be in a secret underground base of Shen Yan. After making a turn, the car drove for another 10 minutes and stopped. Someone took off her blindfold. Sorry to offend you, Miss Wu. Please follow me. The man in black military uniform said coldly. It doesn't matter. Wu Nian got out of the car and followed the man in black military uniform. She stopped after passing several doors. There were 8 soldiers stationed in front of this door. Wu Nian guessed that it was where Shen Yan was. The guard knocked on the door. Come in. Shen Yan's voice came from inside. The guard opened the door. Wu Nian saw Shen Yan sitting at the desk. He was looking down at the documents. When he saw Wu Nian coming over, he closed the documents, put them in the briefcase and ordered, "Get out." With a command, the man and woman who were originally in the room left the room and closed the door. There were only the two of them in the room. Shen Yan stood up and asked lightly, "What kind of wine would you like to drink?" Wu Nian slightly raised the corner of his mouth and calmly said, "Red wine." Shen Yan walked to the wine cabinet and opened a bottle of Lafite. Then she took 2 wine glasses and put them on the tea table. When she poured the wine, she said, "I didn't expect Lu Shuang to have such a powerful friend." Wu Nian sat down on the sofa opposite Shen Yan. "I didn't expect that Shuang Niu would provoke a president." Shen Yan handed the glass to Wu Nian. "Strictly speaking, I'm your savior." Wu Nian took the wine glass from Shen Yan's hand. "Strictly speaking, I never wanted to live." Shen Yan raised her eyebrows. "Then I should thank you. If it wasn't because Lu Shuang wanted to save you, he wouldn't have stayed by my side and wouldn't have given birth to my son. I'm trying my best to make up for the mistakes I've made. Mr. President, you must have guessed it." Wu Nian raised his head and drank the wine in one gulp. "Aren't you afraid that I'll deal with Gu Lingqing?" A cold wind flashed in Shen Yan's eyes. Isn't Gu Lingqing someone you've always wanted to deal with? It won't change because of me, Wu Nian said calmly and put down the glass. I've always thought that Gu Lingqing was an invincible person. However, he has a weakness, and that is you. Now, it seems that you're the true invincible person. Since that's the case, let's make a deal. Wu Nian looked at Shen Yi's overly sharp eyes. I don't think there's a deal between us. I love Lu Shuang, Shen Yi said in a low voice. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. He frowned and looked at him suspiciously. He didn't believe it at all. Otherwise, why do you think I tried so hard to keep her by my side? I knew that once she was exposed, I would lose my reputation, but I still kept her. She scolded me thousands of times, but she could still live safely, Shen Yi said firmly. Do you think Su Jiran loves me? Wu Nian asked. Shen Yi pursed her lips and stared at Wu Nian. After 10 seconds of silence, she said, Do you think Su Jiran doesn't love you? I don't see love in him, only possession and destruction. Similarly, I don't see love in you, only possession and destruction. Look at your place. The walls are made of copper and iron. Even your desk is made of composite materials. That's because you know how dangerous your situation is. I can guarantee that once Lu Shuang's identity is exposed, the first person to die will not be you, but her. That can be seen from the murder at Stephen's place. Do you think your subordinate is the mastermind? Wu Nian said sharply. I can guarantee that as long as I, Shen Yi, am alive, she will definitely not die, Shen Yi promised. You and Shuang Niu have known each other since you were young. You should know her as well as I do. She is simple, loyal, straightforward, impulsive, but kind. She will never plot against others or plot against others. She doesn't like restrictions. She likes a free life. As long as she wants to do something, she will do it naturally and naturally. Look at what you are giving her now. A restricted life without freedom. She is struggling at death's door every day. She can't move freely, and she has to be separated from her children. She is like a canary in a cage. Most importantly, she has to bear the crime of being a mistress. If you were an ordinary person, it would be fine. But you are the president. You will be recorded in the history books. She will be written as a femme fatale and become notorious. So, she would rather lose everything to fly freely. Shen Yi gritted his teeth. His eyes were sharp. He said with certainty, Then I will break her wings. At least, as long as the master doesn't fall, the canary's life will not be in danger. Shuang Niu will hate you for the rest of her life. Shen Yi threw the wine glass in his hand to the ground. He held Wu Nian's shoulder and looked at her deeply. I love her. You are destroying her. In my opinion, a married man has no right to love another woman. I have never touched my wife. Lu Shuang is my only woman. One day, I will make her my legitimate wife, but not now. I have my responsibilities and my family's mission. My wings are not fully grown yet, and there are still many people eyeing me covetously. Once I decline, they will accompany me to the grave. Once I fall, there will be hundreds and thousands of people. You should not drag Shuang Niu down. She is innocent, Wu Nian said with pity for Lu Shuang. That is why I want to negotiate with you. I will let Lu Shuang go. But you must tell me where she is. When I solve all the problems, I will go find her. I believe that no man in the world will love her more than me. Only I can give her true happiness. After all, Xiaobao is my son. I don't think other men will love Xiaobao sincerely. Shen Yi's eyes were misty. Chapter 404. She had seen many breakups and reunions in the world. Some people were very loving in marriage, but after 10 or 20 years, they got divorced, and after the divorce, they would never contact each other again. Marriage was as thin as paper, and most of the time, the best bridge to maintain a marriage was children. Children were the things that truly existed, and they were much more useful than a marriage certificate. Regardless of how much he loved Shuang Niu, there was Xiaobao between them. He had seen too many joys and sorrows, and the weakness between family, friends, and lovers. Shen Yi was willing to risk his reputation to keep Shuang Niu by his side. Although he was autocratic, Shuang Niu could be willful in front of him. On the other hand, it showed that he really doted on Shuang Niu. Shuang Niu might not encounter such a pure love in the future. I can help you, but I need you to promise me a few conditions. Wu Nian softened his tone. Say it. Shen Yan released the hand that was holding Wu Nian's shoulder. First, before you get divorced, you can't go find Shuang Niu. Wu Nian talked about the conditions. Shen Yan agreed without thinking. Second, if Shuang Niu finds the man she loves before you solve the problem, you can't disturb her life. Shen Yan's eyes hit a cold light, and he said coldly, yes. Third, if you are still the president when you marry her, Shuang Niu's personality is not very good at hiding, and she may be schemed against by others. You have to firmly believe in her, tolerate her, and help her. That's for sure. I won't let her suffer. Even if I destroy everything. Other than me, no one can bully her. You can't either. Shen Yan. He paused. Fine, I won't bully her. Let her bully me. I need you to swear that if you can't do the above, I will make your parents live a life worse than death, and your reputation will be ruined. Wu Nian looked at Shen Yan's eyes. Vicious enough. Shen Yan replied. Are you going to swear or not? Shen Yan raised her hand. If I don't love Lu Shuang, I'll lose my reputation. If I don't do the above, I'll let my parents live a life worse than death. Is that okay? Wu Nian nodded. I'll tell Alan about Shuang Niu's last resting place. A glint flashed across Shen Yan's eyes. She raised the corner of her mouth slightly and said, Then I'll have to trouble you. I'll get someone to send you back now. Besides, you know what to say and what not to say, right? What do you think? I don't know how Shuang Niu is so lucky to have a friend like you, Shen Yan said meaningfully. Shuang Niu is a blessed person. Please send me back. After Lu Shuang settles down, I will tell you her address. Don't forget what you promised. Shen Yan closed her eyes, opened the door, and ordered the guard outside. Send Miss Wu back. Yes. The guard led the way outside the door. Looking at Wu Nian's back disappearing in front of her, Shen Yan ordered the adjutant beside her. I know where Lu Shuang is. Keep an eye on her 24 hours a day. I want her to never escape. Wu Nian was sent back. She looked at the time. It was already 3 o'clock in the morning. It should be 8 o'clock in the evening in London now. She dialed Alan's number. You haven't slept yet? Alan said softly. Alan, there's a change in the situation this time. Shen Yan talked to me just now. He will deliberately let you leave Lu Shuang. Huh? Deliberately? What do you mean? Alan was confused. You deliberately save Lu Shuang and settle her in England for 10 days. Don't let anyone take her away. After 10 days, transfer her to D-Land, but tell me her exact whereabouts. It sounds more interesting than before. Are you willing to tell me the reason? Alan asked in a good tone. Shen Yan said that he is willing to set Lu Shuang free until he regains his freedom. I want to test him and tell him a fake address to see his reaction. If he really does as he promised, I will tell him the real address. Alan smiled. Can I say that the devil is 1 foot higher than the law? Ha 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 ha, you are so smart. I will take it as a compliment. Yes, but I might need your help too. Alan said awkwardly. Go ahead. As long as she could do it, she would do it without hesitation. She didn't like to owe others, but she had owed a lot of people before. In her heart, she couldn't get over it, such as Lu Shuang and Mu Xiaoxiao. My grandmother wants to come to a land next month. After all, you are my friend. I may have to trouble you to come out and meet me. I thought it was something important. That's what I should do. Text me when you confirm the time. Well, okay. Go to bed now. It's late. It's not good for your skin to sleep so late, Alan said with a smile. She felt relaxed when she was with Alan. Okay, good night. See you next month. Good night. See you next month. Wu Nian hung up the phone, took a shower, and lay on the bed. Her imagination ran wild. Every time she thought of Gu Lingqing, she would feel a faint pain in her heart. It was a very bad feeling. Fortunately, she would be free soon. Her heart would not hurt anymore, and all the feelings would disappear. She turned over, but her face was wet. Life was like a dream, smoke, and illusion. Most things would not go your way. She just had to get used to it. She fell asleep in a daze. When she woke up, it was already 12:20. After washing up, she called Lu Shuang. "What do you want to say?" "I've been waiting for your call for a long time," Lu Shuang said anxiously. "Alan said that as long as you go to the UK, he has the third eye, and he can definitely save you." "Third eye? What third eye? Is he bragging?" Lu Shuang was worried. Wu Nian thought that Lu Shuang was anxious and his brain was temporarily short-circuited. She explained in detail. "It refers to the surveillance system. Now every road and every community has surveillance. As long as you go to the UK, he can use the surveillance system to find you quickly through facial recognition." Oh, I remember now. That's what it means. Recently, I haven't been eating well and sleeping well. I feel that my brain has declined. Hey, I can't take it anymore. I have to hang up. Shen Yan is here again. I'll talk to you later. Lu Shuang hung up the phone in a hurry. Wu Nian sighed. Even if Shen Yan really loved Shuang Niu might not be able to accept him in a short time. After all, they did not have a good beginning, and their status was too far apart. She got up and her phone rang. She saw that it was a landline number and answered. "Who is this?" "Hello, Miss Wu. I'm from the yacht company. Today is the last day of the yacht that you liked last time. In order to show everyone's love for this yacht, we will reduce the price by another 50,000 yuan. On top of that, we will also give you a jet ski. If you miss today, you won't have another chance." "Well, I'll order one, but I want a brand new one. There must be no quality problems." "Don't worry, Miss Wu. Our company has been established for 30 years and has always had a good reputation. When will you pay the deposit?" "In the afternoon." Zhang Xingyu received the call and replied to Gu Lingqing. "Miss Wu really bought the yacht in her own name. Do you still want to buy it?" Chapter 405. Lu Shuang was going to England, and Wu Nian was going to see him off. Lu Shuang held Wu Nian's hand tightly and said reluctantly, "Xiaobai, don't bear the burden alone. You'll feel better if you tell me. When I'm not by your side, write it on the letter and pretend to tell me. Then you'll feel better." Wu Nian nodded. "Okay." Lu Shuang's eyes turned red. He sniffed and choked with sobs. "I'll miss you. Don't forget me. Let's be friends in our next life." Wu Nian saw Lu Shuang crying, and his tears flowed down instantly. He nodded and helped Lu Shuang wipe his tears. He said, "Remember, be careful with your words and actions. You can only rely on yourself outside. When you're very angry, listen to a song and calm down for 5 minutes before making a decision." "I will. Once Shen Yan has a new lover, tell me. I'll sneak back to see you. I think he'll have a new lover soon," Lu Shuang said with hope. Wu Nian's eyes darkened. He did not say anything. Seeing Shen Yan walking over, he said concisely, "He's here. Take care." "Okay," Lu Shuang replied. He couldn't help but feel sad. She didn't know when she would be able to see her good friend again, after going out this time. Shen Yan walked to Lu Shuang and put one hand in her pocket. She said meaningfully, "It's not like you'll never see him again. Why are you crying?" Lu Shuang wiped his tears. "Why do you care if I'm sad? Do you care about other people's feelings?" Shen Yan held Lu Shuang's shoulders and pulled him into her arms. "Go out and have fun. I should be the one who's sad." He turned around with his arms around her. Lu Shuang looked at Shen Yan in confusion. "You're a person who can come and go as you please. Why are you sad? Don't you know why I'm sad?" Shen Yan and Lu Shuang's voices were getting further and further away. She didn't turn around until they got on the plane, and it was out of her sight. Now, apart from waiting for news, he was going to get a yacht driving license. From the training ground to the restaurant to the hotel, and from the hotel to the restaurant to the training ground. It was much easier to get a driving license on a ship than a car. She got her driving license in a week, and could drive her own cruise ship out to sea. The place she wanted to go the most was the deserted island. Fortunately, she remembered the latitude and longitude and adjusted it on the machine. The boat was driven by herself. She just needed to check if there was any mistake from time to time. However, before she left, she bought a lot of ingredients. It took 8 hours to drive from City A to the deserted island. She checked out of her room and set off at 8 o'clock in the morning with 3 barrels of diesel. The weather was good today. Perhaps it was because she was at sea. It was almost October and it was a little chilly. She wrapped herself in a blanket and stood at the head of the bed, looking at the endless ocean. This would be her future life. She would stay at sea for a long time without any signal, and live a life far away from the world. Occasionally, she would go to the shore to buy some ingredients. She would not inquire about anyone's news. She would struggle to survive until she could no longer live. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, she approached the island. From afar, she saw something different. Using the binoculars given by the shop, she saw a house by the sea. She had a strange feeling in her heart. Who built a house here? Another 10 minutes later, the cruise ship approached the shore. She saw it clearly. It was a 3-story cement house surrounded by a 2.5-meter-high wall. Outside the wall was a circle of ditches for storing water. There was only one way to the iron gate. The iron gate was locked. The owner should not be inside. She did not expect that there would be people living here. If one family came, maybe there would be a second family. Or maybe she could teach here. Wu Nian did not get off the ship. She docked the ship 50 meters away from the shore. At night, she simply cooked porridge and scrambled eggs with tomatoes. After eating, she lay on the deck chair at the bow of the ship, covered herself with the quilt, and counted the stars in the sky. The cold wind blew. Even with the quilt, she felt cold to the bones. The colder it was, the lonelier she felt, even if she had arrived at the place she once wanted to return to the most. There was no man in this place anymore. She looked at the sky in a daze, thinking about what would happen after death, thinking about starting over, thinking about what if. Unfortunately, there was no answer in the end. She did not know whether to feel asleep or not. When she was in a daze, she felt that someone beside her was looking at her and lifted her quilt. She wanted to open her eyes but could not. She wanted to speak but could not. She wanted to sit up but could not move her body. After struggling for a while, she did not wake up, so she simply gave up. Life or death, it did not matter. Thinking of this, she felt her body was light as if it was about to float out of her body. She floated into the air and suddenly sank into unconsciousness. In the morning, she was woken up by the birds. Her head was dizzy and her nose was a little blocked, as if she had caught a cold. She sniffed her nose and got up to brush her teeth and wash up. She saw 2 wolves walking on the beach. Gradually there were 3, 4, 6, 12. One of the wolves saw her and howled. The other wolves looked at her. If she and Gu Lingqing had encountered this group, it would have been a fierce battle. Even if Gu Lingqing's marksmanship was good, he could not have killed so many of them. Therefore they were lucky. At least they did not die so miserably. Those wolves looked at her for an hour, but finally gave up and left with their heads down. Wu Nian cooked some porridge again. She put a few slices of ginger and red dates in the porridge and ate a bowl with tofu. After that, she ran on the treadmill for half an hour. She was so dizzy that she did not even take a shower. She took a pill and drank a glass of water. Then she lay on the bed and fell asleep again. When she woke up again, it was almost noon. Her cold did not get better. It got worse. Her nose was watery and her breathing was not smooth. She asked for it. She felt cold and shouldn't have laid outside to enjoy the wind last night. She cooked some porridge and lay on the bed to watch the movie she downloaded on the computer. She spent a week in a daze. The funny thing was that the wolves came for 5 days in a row. On the 6th day, they judged that she would not go ashore, so they did not come again. On the 8th day she returned to City A. On the one hand, she wanted to see how Lu Shuang was doing now. On the other hand, she might not have received the message that Alan had told her when to come. She left at 7 o'clock in the morning. She would receive the signal at 14 o'clock in the afternoon. Her phone kept ringing. Many of them were from Shen Yin and Alan. She called Alan first. "Where have you been? I couldn't find you anywhere," Alan said in a low voice. I got my boat license and went out for a few days. There was no signal on the boat. I'm sorry to have made you worry, Wu Nian said apologetically. You are living a free life. Wu Nian just smiled. Or I am stubborn. I have rescued Lu Shuang for 2 days. I will send the address to your phone later. I will transfer her in 8 days, right? Alan said with certainty. Yes, and make sure that no one takes Lu Shuang away during this period. Chapter 406. What's the matter? Wu Nian had a bad feeling. Let's talk when we meet. Alan hesitated. Wu Nian heard his heavy tone and was a little anxious. Since you've asked, you know that if you don't tell me, I won't be able to sleep every night. Tell me. I don't know. My grandmother has investigated you. She found out that you went to a sanatorium and met a deceased person. The deceased person looked exactly like my grandmother's friend. You were very sad in front of the grave. She wanted to know your relationship with the deceased person. Alan said in a low voice. Mother, she is my mother by Bing. She grew up in an orphanage and tasted the bitterness of the world. She suffered from an incurable mental illness. Wu Nian didn't hide anything. Then you? Maybe you're the descendant of my grandmother's friend? Alan's tone was very regretful. I don't know. My mother is already dead. I had a bone marrow transplant, and my DNA has changed. Maybe the DNA in my brain and spleen hasn't changed, but it's not convenient to extract them. Besides, even if I'm proven to be the descendant of your grandmother's friend, it won't change anything for me. Besides, even if it's confirmed that I'm the descendant of your grandmother's friend, it won't change anything for me, Wu Nian explained. What if your grandfather has always wanted to find you? After all, you're the only descendant of his beloved wife. He feels that he owes his wife. He will make it up to you. Alan tried to sound her out. I don't need to make it up to him. His wife is already dead. No matter how much I make it up to him, it will only make him feel better. His wife can't feel it. If he didn't treat his wife better when she was alive, it would be too late for him to treat her better after she died. Since he has done what he owes, since he owes her, he will owe her for the rest of his life. Wu Nian said coldly. What if I ask you to see her? Alan said in a low voice. Wu Nian looked down. If it wasn't for Alan's request, she would definitely not meet him. She knew that once she admitted it, many people, things would be involved. She would also mess up other people's lives. She didn't want to. But Alan's request, she twitched the corner of her mouth. She couldn't reject him because of his help. Okay. On October 15th, your grandfather and my grandmother will come to a land together. See you then. Alan said with a clear voice. Okay, I'm hanging up. Send me Lu Shuang's address. Wu Nian said and hung up the phone. He lay on the recliner and looked at the blue sky. The white clouds sometimes turned into the shape of a white horse, and sometimes into the shape of a mermaid. It was ever-changing and never fixed. Alan sent him a message. She sat up and called Shiniyan. I thought you had disappeared, Shiniyan said in a weird tone. I'm out to sea. There's no signal on the sea. Sorry, Wu Nian said in a low voice. Where is she now? Shiniyan asked angrily. Her breathing was uneven, and it was transmitted to Wu Nian's ears through the phone. Don't forget what you promised me. First, you can't disturb Shuang Niu's life before you regain your freedom. Second, if Shuang Niu finds a lover, you should help her. Third, don't bully her. Wu Nian reminded him again. Are you done? If you are, tell me where she is. Shiniyan said coldly. Wu Nian's eyes darkened. Shiniyan didn't agree, but if he went back on his word, she would make sure that he would never find Shuang Niu again. I'll send you the address. I hope you can keep your promise, Wu Nian said. He hung up the phone and forwarded Alan's message to Shiniyan. There was still 1.5 hours before the ship docked. She went to the kitchen to make egg fried rice and tomato shredded meat soup, and ate a little. When she reached the shore, she replenished her water, fresh vegetables, and fruits. She also bought 2 hens that could lay eggs, a poodle, some dog food, toys, and a doghouse with a roof. She set off to the deserted island again. She made a circle with a mat on the roof and put the hens in. She made a pot with straw and covered it with a bamboo board. The doghouse was placed at the bow of the ship. She put the toys in the doghouse and set the automatic sailing at night to locate the deserted island. She went back to her room to sleep and set the alarm. It was 5:20 in the morning. The dog was barking so fiercely that Wu Nian was woken up before the alarm went off. She felt the ship shaking so much that she couldn't even get out of bed. She swayed and opened the door. The sea was stormy but there was no rain. The sky was slightly white. She closed the door and went to the bathroom to brush her teeth. She put on a jacket and walked to the bed. The dog saw her and barked even louder. Wu Nian carried it out. It was very dirty. She took the dog into the bathroom and put it in the sink to take a bath. The dog was very resistant at first. It struggled and tried to bite Wu Nian's hand. She gave the dog a few mouthfuls of dog food, and it calmed down. Wu Nian helped the dog bathe and dried its fur with a hairdryer. What do you think of your name? Little Qing, how about this name? It sounds very sunny, Wu Nian said to the dog. Woof woof. The dog barked twice. Wu Nian gave the dog a biscuit. Then you'll be called Little Qing. You like it too, right? Woof woof. The dog barked twice again. Wu Nian gave the dog another biscuit. The dog was much more stable in her arms and no longer barked as before. Due to the wind and waves, the ship arrived at its destination 2 hours late. It was 8 o'clock when she arrived at the deserted island. The sun was out and the wind and waves had subsided. She was surprised to find that the previously closed iron gate was opened. She could see that there was a courtyard inside. There was a well and a parasol in the courtyard. Under the parasol was a table, a recliner, and a blanket on the recliner. There were 3 rooms in the 3-story building. There were several rooms upstairs, and several more rooms upstairs. She was surprised and looked around. There were no beasts coming in or out. She remotely controlled the ladder, and got off the ship with the dog in her arms. She slowly walked to the front of the house, knocked on the door and asked, "Is anyone here?" Woof 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 woof. The dog barked. No one answered her. Wu Nian was nervous and scared. She walked further inside and shouted, "Is anyone here?" Click. The door was opened. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. There was no surprise in his eyes. Perhaps he had recognized her when he heard her voice. Wu Nian's heart was beating fast. He said not to see her again. She had thought that this house was built by him, but she didn't think that he would come here after falling out with her. "I'm sorry." Wu Nian apologized and turned around. "Little Yan is sick," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. "You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.